Hello, everybody, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We're here, and everything's broken, and I hate the world. But we're here, and that's something. So we're going to be playing some Six&Twenty Metropolis today. This is the penultimate episode, and what that means is that next week is the ultimate, aka final episode of Six&Twenty Metropolis Season 2. And with us here is the normal cast and crew, so let's go around and introduce our characters, and Johnny, I guess, and see what they're up to, who they're playing, and what the hell we're doing today. Let's start with Major Laser herself, Miss Ninja. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And who are you playing today?
I am X-Wiz Ginger Ninja. I'm going to be playing Flora today. And she's not happy with the situation she's in. There's a lot of things happening and a lot of inter-team fighting. She's not all about it. But we did find his dad. Kind of.
No, we didn't. That's a lie, and you're a monster. Monster.
You just want to make her mic cry.
Yeah, that's true. I should have kept the speaking of getting fucked going from last week, but I didn't. Speaking of being a monster, I know. No, speaking of being a monster, Sam. Sam, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What's with that nice haircut? And who are you playing today?
My name is Sam, Wizenfool on Twitch, the Wizenfool on Twitter. I'm doing good. I'm playing JP this week and every week. JP's a good boy who just wants to help his friends out, but ends up getting punched most of the time as a result. Or like zapped with lightning or hit with hammers.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
That makes sense. If you want to be a good boy that helps his friends, you're going to get punched.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you fight teenagers outside of high school when
Either
you're
way.
a 23-year-old man.
Either way, we all make mistakes in real life and in game.
Anyway, I got a haircut, and now Frags can't bully me anymore. And we all really know that the source of the bullying is because of his jealousy, because he has no hair. But it's okay. We forgive him, all of us together.
Shots fired.
I'm just kidding. I love you, buddy.
Speaking of Fuzzy Wuzzy and his lack of hair, Frags, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And who are you playing today?
I am Kennedy Frags, and I was a bear. Now, I am the artist formerly known as Dude on the Couch. Now I'm in my own sovereign room.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And I'm playing Scratch. And he's in a high stakes game this evening, and we shall see how things go in that direction.
It's true. He is in a high stakes game.
Yeah.
There are very high stakes.
Yeah, the stakes are at least 20 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And we hungry.
They're at least 420 feet in the air. Perfect. And last but definitely least, Johnny, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what the hell are we doing?
Johnny, Video Store Cowboy, crazy GM for the 6&20 thing. Or sorry, MC. What are you doing tonight? So a lot happened last week, but a lot didn't happen. Like, you guys all were all stuck on a ship and something. And then there was this game that was going on, and I'm not really sure what was going on with that. And then, Frags and I are supposed to, as the players and the characters, and there's supposed to be this thing, and it didn't get set up in the way that I was hoping, but now we're going to have to do it this way. And I'm like, all right, I think we should just get started.
That's fair. Perfect. Guys, and just a reminder before we jump into things, you guys can interact with the show. Check down in the donation section down below for Nat 1s, Nat 20s, Al Crits if your name is Al, and Al only, and all kinds of other fun things, as well as along the bottom of the screen you will see the followers, subscribers, and retweets, and every time we hit one of those goals, everyone on screen gets a fun little bonus. And with that shilling, Johnny, take us away.
Previously on 6&20 Metropolis, Frags was in, Frags, sorry. I apologize. Scratch was in a dream. He drank from a cup and found himself traveling back through time into a more sort of a rustic setting for Crossroads, where he faced Samuel and had another game of, I believe that time it wasn't Old Maid, it wasn't Goldfish, it was Crazy Eights. That's correct. It's Crazy Eights. While the rest of the crew was facing down what appeared to be a rather easy sort of setting of a lagoon with a pirate ship on the far side. However, once entering the water, they found themselves in great conflict with a number of different types of creatures, including piranha, which you guys never actually identified, and mermen. Fighting their way to the ship in various means, JP splitting himself into multiple JPs in scuba gear, fighting off various mermen while saving Scratch and Malcolm, who I believe had a really terrible failure last time. It was really bad. It was a natural failure.
That's fine. This is a regular failure. It's okay.
It was whatever. And Flora, of course, slicing her way through the water, poisoning everything as she goes, making her way to the ship. The crew then had a brief exchange between Malcolm and Flora as she explains the circumstances of the dream again and shows Malcolm the picture. Meanwhile, in the dream, Scratch, he's playing for not only his life, but the lives of his friends, with poker chips on the table representing everybody in the crew. The game goes back and forth, first a loss, then a win, and now the stakes are incredibly high. Scratch has put his own soul on the table in front of Samuel in exchange for the soul of Gideon, who sits as the prominent chip in Samuel's collection. And as we sort of fade in, Samuel had suggested the game of Indian poker. However, we're going to have difficulty playing that on screen and making it, real. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something a little bit different. So we're going to fade back in to that scene. Scratch, he's sitting in front of you, smiling, gold tooth kind of gleaming, something that you hadn't really seen on him before. He looks at you and he says, "This is your dream. Do you really think you can win?"
And as if from the heavens above, Al donates a bunch of money, and there's 2 Al crits for everyone, including the MC.
God damn it.
They usually go pretty well for me. Unlike my normal rolls, the out crits are the only rolls I roll well on.
It's true.
What happened again, Jenny? Sorry, I was trying to talk and I couldn't figure out how to unmute myself, and things happened.
You're really having a lot of trouble, buddy.
I hate you.
Is Frags the new Sam this week? Because everyone ragged on Sam last week. He got a haircut. Words hurt, guys.
That time I was not trying to be mean.
I was just going to suggest that we all chip in and get him a stream deck or something, or a big button that says
Unmute.
unmute. Exactly. It's one of those Staples buttons or whatever. Anyways,
it's the fucking program. You can't you can't do any hotkeys unless you're clicked on it, and I wasn't clicked on it.
Excuses.
Yep.
Okay, so he looks at you, teeth smiling, says, "Well, Scratch, this is your dream. You sure you can win?"
I have a little bit of faith in myself. You sure you gonna win?
Remember, it's your dream. You are ultimately responsible for what happens here.
You right.
All right. And so he puts the deck of cards on the table, and he says, "Let's cut cards. Higher man wins."
Don't mind if I do.
And so he lays them right on the table in front of you, and he says, "You first."
Am I drawing one card or am I drawing?
Just draw one card and just place it onto the game table.
Okay. So I
didn't
know if
should
we
be
just
shuffled.
draw. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Let's see. Are you gonna draw your card now? Or do I gotta put my card down first?
You got to put. Well, it doesn't matter. I put my card down. He gets. Oh.
Yeah, no, well, because I when I have to click draw and then click on it and then bring it out so I can see what it is before I drop it.
Oh, okay. All right. You lay your card on the table. Samuel lays his, smiles, says, "Not the result you were expecting."
Little Mad Hatter never played right with me.
Fine. That's 2 out of 3.
Why are you so difficult? I should have let you draw first.
What was your card, Frags? Because I think I drew the 4.
No, you did not draw the 4. I drew the 4. Sorry, guys, you're all gonna die.
Samuel smiles, kind of leans in. 2 out of 3. You really aren't invested in this, are you?
3 out of 5.
You're just gonna keep losing. But this is the last time.
All right. Let's see what I got here. Oh!
Finally, the cards are in your favor. And he sort of smiles and says, "All right, you're making this interesting. You want to draw it out."
Hey, Sammy, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
All right. He reaches out. He says, "My turn. I'll go first." And he draws a card and lays it on the table.
Ah, you cheater. You cheated.
That's one of the things that I love about this.
Time, and then I'll get the higher card. Dude.
He looks at you and he says, "Well, I think the results are in. Welcome back to the fold, Scratch. Or should I start calling you Beauregard again? This is your dream, however."
Scratch is just gonna get up and grab the Gideon chip.
Face danger.
It is my dream.
It is your dream. Looks like it's time for an owl credit.
Hey, Johnny, whose dream is it?
It's your dream.
This is what I freaking thought. All right, I'm going to face danger. Just
Face danger.
Straight up facing danger. Okay.
Okay, so what power tags do you think apply here?
Gift of gab, approachable, maybe crowd work.
Okay.
I like those 3.
All right. So there's one negative story tag in your that's against you, and it is loser because you lost the game.
Just
don't
like
roll
real
yet.
life.
Oh. That's cold. That's cold, man. That's cold.
Wait, what happened?
It said just
If
like
you
real
mi-
life.
Ah, yeah. Cool.
All right. So before you make the actual roll, what happens next is a little unsettling for you. Samuel begins to move much quicker than you do, swiping it up and taking the coin, and at the same time pulls a gun and begins to fire. So that's what you're facing. This is your dream, however, so normal skills don't necessarily apply. So if there's anything else you want to add after that, you're more than welcome to.
Man, I'm pretty sure there's. Can I use? Yeah, it's my dream. I'm in a dream state. I'm gonna use time signature on myself, and I'm gonna try to go into bullet time here.
Okay.
And yeah, no, just that. Okay, so All right. So facing danger.
Nice.
Great success.
Samuel grabs the chip, pulls the revolver, starts firing. Describe what happens as you avoid the bullets as they're coming flying at you.
The words "This is your dream" just keep repeating in his head. So every time, in your voice, obviously, and
Obviously.
yeah, and every time he shoots, I just kind of sidestep and just kind of, mosey my way on between the bullets. I mean, not like dancing or anything. It's definitely a straight on mosey. And he's just kind of getting out of the way of the bullets. And then, yeah, I get the coin, right?
No, the coin is still in his hand as he continues to fire at you, and you're dancing away.
Okay. And with every juke and jive, he gets a step closer to Samuel.
Just out of curiosity, are you singing a song or humming a tune? Is there something under your breath that's just going on as this is happening?
He's whistling. What's the name of the song? The song from the Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
Okay. Awesome. So you dance around. Other entities in the room make themselves known. Basically, a couple of young skulls dressed in appropriate garb sort of just reappear into the scene, moving towards you as you are dancing around them and moving towards Samuel. As he takes aim and begins to fire again, we're going to cut to the ship. For the three of you, the exchange that the emotional exchange that has just happened is still kind of reeling with you, and Malcolm is just sort of still there with the picture. And that's when you start to hear a little bit of humming coming from Scratch, as you hear the theme from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly sort of just being, hummed under his breath, and while he's still sleeping, with each breath, a little bit just sort of, trickles out. And he appears to be, tensing just a little bit, but not much else is happening. What are the three of you doing?
Johnny, remind me, what were we doing?
You were exploring the ship, I believe. You had already looked at the captain's quarters, and that was what kind of triggered some things for Malcolm. And then Flora, recognizing the inside of the cabin, had grabbed a hat and a bottle of whiskey, or a bottle of rum, sorry, that had induced a bit of a dream state for her. She was in the dream and then came out yet again. And then there was the big discussion between you and her specifically about what the meaning of the picture was.
Okay. And we hear, and how loud is the hum?
I think it's loud enough that you would know that there's something different about what's going on with Scratch. But it's not so much that it's like he's really loudly humming. It's just like it's under his breath, and you just catch a couple of bars.
Okay.
And then you hear a breath, and then you catch a couple more bars, and you hear a breath. Kind of thing.
So like JP might hear it then because he's carrying him.
I believe one of the clone JPs, the last clone JP, is carrying him. He's the one that came back to the ship.
I was carrying a lot of people, if I recall correctly, between the two JPs.
Yep.
Sarah, Barry, and Gus were carrying Buddy, his friend.
Oh right, Gideon.
Yeah, couldn't remember his name.
Yeah. So I don't think Malcolm hears the humming, but he looks around and he says, "Okay, so we want to go below deck."
Yes, search the rest of the ship.
I haven't been on that ship before. I've only been on this part, but I'll figure it out.
We were in the cabin. Let's search the rest.
Yeah. Okay. And he moves over to the. I guess it would be the fore of the ship that leads below deck. Yeah. So he moves forward of the ship to head down below deck.
So the interesting thing about the rest of the ship is that, for the most part, you don't see a lot of skeletons or bodies or what I would say paraphernalia, or the accoutrements of being on a ship, pirates, seamen, however you want to think about it. Most of the ship is actually bare. The rigging is all there. It's old. It's sort of dilapidated. It's fraying. The sails haven't been unsheathed in a long time. But for the most part, the ship is pretty much empty. And so as you descend below deck, that first deck, there is a couple of cargo boxes, but for the most part, the rest of that deck is empty. However, there is what looks to be an addition to this particular ship that seems out of place. There is a wall and a door, a really ornate door, much closer to you than you would expect. And there is stained glass and a light sort of glowing through the stained glass on the other side. But that wall and door are just sort of there, almost, they greet you about midway through the ship, indicating that there is a large closed off part of the ship there. And then you also see another way down below to a lower deck.
Is the glass just colored, or is it like a portrait of something?
It is a portrait of two children, but you can't really make out all the features. You can see that one is a boy and older, and another is a girl and younger.
Okay.
And it's the setting is sort of like a field, and there's a blue sky in the back, and there is a sun sort of shining in the stained glass. And it's weird when the light sort of refracts through the stained glass. It's coming through. The light appears to be strongest at where the sun is.
And this is below deck?
This is below deck.
Yeah, I think Malcolm kind of stops and turns to everybody and says, that doesn't go on a ship.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's a ship, and sometimes there's pirates, and sometimes there's Kraken, and why would you have a glass door on a ship? That doesn't make any sense. It could break. And that's a really pretty one, so why would you have a really pretty breakable glass door on a ship that goes in the ocean? Especially in an ocean that has a Kraken in it.
That's not a bad question.
So it doesn't go here.
Should we go see?
Hey JP, you remember that time? Remember that time that we had Gideon, and then we had the lady who turns into birds, and then we had the lady with the boy's name, and we went on the ship in the dream, and then we fought the Kraken, and the boat broke in half, and then you were fighting the Kraken in the water, and you punched it a lot.
Yes.
I don't remember this door in that boat.
JP. Wait. All right. One of the JPs. Okay, the real JP.
JP
has
Prime.
only one person he's holding. Which is Scratch. So I will walk up and open the door.
I'm sure whatever you're saying is super cool, Johnny.
I'm gonna mute myself again. Just anyways. So as you grab for the door, it slowly begins to turn, and it's difficult even for JP. But it's not strength, or it's not like it's not. There's not resistance so much as there is. It feels like will. But it's not your will that you're fighting against, and it's not somebody else's will. It's just if the door itself doesn't want to open for you. But eventually you're able to you were able to open the door slowly, and as it just okay, sorry, random dog just walked into my room too. Let's start this over. You begin the resistance. You feel resistance as you kind of slowly turn the door handle, and as you open the door, you can feel the resistance of the door as it kind of pushes forward. The moment that the door separates from where it would be like the door frame and starts to open like this, the light diminishes, and the image of the the stained glass just looks incredibly dark. And so as you open the door and you look inside, there's an incredibly dark setting with a hi little dog, hi Sushi. There is a candle lit on what appears to be an end table of some kind right next to a bed, and the room is ornately furnished, and there appears to be a couple of different pieces of furniture, and what appears to be a bar of some kind, where there are lots of flasks and distill, and some other like what look like bubbling concoctions that are still bubbling right there on it. And as you can see the glow from the candle, you can see that there is a shape occupying the bed.
What do we do? So like with the door still open, JP like kind of looks back at the group. He's like, there's someone sleeping. Who is it?
Great. Just what we needed. More fucking sleeping people.
I don't know who it is. Should I wake him up?
What does it look like?
I can't see from here.
Flora's gonna walk in and walk past him and go stand right next to the person and stare at them.
That's not creepy at all.
Just trying to figure out who it is.
That's not Flora at all.
Are they?
So
Well, she knows a body. Okay, she would know if they're dead or not.
Well, you stand up really close. You don't see the shape moving at all. You see that it's mostly covered in the bedding, and the shadows are such that you can't really see any definition from the face. But as you get closer, Flora knows that this person is not alive, that this person is dead.
Okay, she's going to just pull the covers off, like halfway, and just pull the body flat so she can see who it is.
It's a skeleton of a woman in a bedding, sort of like a gown of some kind.
Oh boy. Can she find any personal effects on the bed?
Why don't you do an investigate for me?
While I do that, I'm going to ask JP to get him to get Malcolm away from the door.
Is Malcolm like even in the room?
No, he hasn't come in yet.
Just make sure he doesn't
I'm
come
just
in.
like standing in the way then.
Okay. What? Try to find my sheet. There we go. Sheet.
Do you want to use an Alcrit here for this investigation?
No, I'm gonna use.
No, I want to actually succeed at it.
Oh, wow.
She's
Yeah.
failed all the Alcrits. I mean,
I'm gonna use Dead of Night, Necromancer.
Is this when we find out that Malcolm is the end boss of season 2? Like, boss of season 1.
I'm gonna use Coroner Morgue because I could probably tell more about how she died or something like that. Because it's my job.
Do you want to know more about the state of the body first before you...
I was gonna say that she's investigating the whole bed, like everything on it, the person and then the belongings and everything.
Okay, that works.
So that's 4.
There isn't a story tag here that's negative against you. Were you carrying any other statuses? 'Cause I don't remember.
No. I don't think so.
There was the tags that were being negative for us before was like, I know there was like darkness from being in the cave at one point, but presumably that's no longer in play.
That is no longer in play.
And then there was definitely something for the stuff that was attacking us in the water, but again, So,
Yeah, that's
There's
so.
one for
Yeah,
Malcolm because of like the stuff surrounding his.
Oh yeah, Malcolm also had one for like the whole situation being like too close to his trauma.
Yeah.
But I think other than that, we were pretty much in good shape because I had just cleared one last session at the end. JP had like seasick or something before we cleared it.
that's right. So in this particular case, even if the ship technically counts as a new scene, so everything in the water would have been cleared anyways. And this room actually would count in my head as a separate scene, so most of that stuff probably wouldn't apply anyways. There are a couple things in here that Flora might discover that might come into, or if Malcolm goes batshit crazy like I'm expecting,
I'm sure he's fine.
Malcolm be he could be a negative story tag. I mean,
Yeah, so I'm rolling it with 4 on investigate, right?
yes.
Oh.
Holy shit. Okay, so that is 4 power tags. That means you get 4 questions. Do you happen to have the dynamite update for that? Or the dynamite
No.
Okay. All right. I am going to, if you want, you want to spend 2 of those investigation those clues. I will give you the most important detail, and then you can ask 2 more questions with those 2 other clues.
Done.
Okay.
Or one other question and save one. I haven't decided, but I'll take the first part. Depends what you tell me.
Okay. So you begin to rifle through the bed, and you don't find much about the bed other than you find that the corpse, while not completely decayed to skeleton, is very long gone. Like it's been a long time, at least from the way that the body has decomposed. There are various things sort of situated on each side of the bed: concoctions, little bottles, pills, powders, that kind of a thing. What you find in the drawer of one of these side tables is an actual journal. And you pull it out and you look that it's in the hand of a couple of different people. And when you're looking at it, it appears to be the details of the convalescence and ultimate illness of this particular person.
Okay.
And there appears to be 3 different people that are actually documenting inside of this journal. All right.
This is your moment, Flora.
Okay.
You know
So
what you have to do.
This is your moment, actually.
she's going to look through the journal for any names or other items that would help her decipher who this is.
In the journal itself?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one of your clues that you're going to
Yeah,
spend?
one of my questions is anything like that referenced or whatever in the journal?
Wait, what referenced?
Names or anything that would lead to like who this was either about or who wrote in it. You said
Okay.
it was written in 3 different hands.
It's written in 3 different hands. There is a little bit of information that you can glean almost immediately. It's clear there's one voice that talks in a very sort of clinical sort of a way. There's another one that's documenting their state of sickness, and that appears to be the woman. And then there's a third who continues to document later on when she is incapable of documenting anymore. Interesting thing about those 3 voices is as you're kind of flipping through and you get towards the back, out falls another picture. And it is a picture of Malcolm and Tink at a very young age.
So Flora is going to bank that one, and she's going to roll to try to raise his mother with her necromancy. Can I do that?
What's the one thing called? Stop holding back. That is like.
She wants to do this long enough, like obviously she can't make her like a living person again, but just reanimate her enough to be able to answer questions or talk and say hi or goodbye or whatever.
I think that's a good stop holding back as well.
That sounds so cool.
And I'm going to use my one of
You
my
can't-
things. I'm
you
not
can't-
using it
you
out to
cannot-
fuck you out.
You can't use
You
anything.
can't use an Yeah, you can't use an out crit here.
Okay.
Before you even get down the path of like, let's talking about stop pulling back. Talk to me about this, what this means in Flora's mind about raising the dead and how it relates to who she is as a character and what it, how it relates to her backstory.
I think that this is very close in the way that she goes into her trance and is looking at the souls that like haven't left this plane yet. And just like maybe during her process, she just pulls it back into the body for long enough to just, talk to it or whatever.
Okay. And so you want to pull it back and then have it re-enter the body as it is?
Yeah. She realizes this might not be a good idea. But the soul, like when she's talked with like the people who've died, like they know they're dead. And especially if she can do this, then the soul's been waiting for like unfinished bit, like whatever, like has been like wandering and not left yet.
Okay.
It's like part of you. It's less like you raising them back, like pulling them back, and more you helping them get peace kind of thing.
Yeah, but by putting the soul back in the body so that it's like a conduit to be able to like communicate to people that aren't like me and can't see them or hear them.
Okay, so this is discussion time, guys. So if you're going to do a stop holding back, based on the way you described it, you're just bringing the soul back to have its ultimate end, get peace or whatever. I'm not sure that's anything more than a significant. If Flora wanted to do something more extravagant than that, I'd love to hear a description of it, and then we can talk whether it's something else. First, what do you think? There are the three things: significant, no return, and ultimate. Each of those indicating a severity of it. And so, once I hear what you have to think, I'd love to hear input from the rest of the table, because I think this is pretty much going to stay significant unless there's an argument for otherwise. Or
I think it's significant because it's going to help Malcolm. It's not changing the shitstorm outside and all the stuff we've been dealing with. And she doesn't see any consequences other than hurt feelings or, being upset or whatever, because she can control the dead. So.
Yeah, I'm tempted to say significant for a different reason. For me, it's because this feels more like wanting to talk to the dead as opposed to like actually bring someone back. If it was like we're bringing this person back, I would be like, yeah, maybe that's even like ultimate. But this is like more like if this is D&D, it's not resurrection, it's speak with dead, right?
Yeah.
Right. That sounds about right.
It's just her way of doing it based on her history. Yeah.
I can agree to that.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. So it is 2d6 plus the number of Logos theme books that you have. You should be able to click on it on your character sheet, and that should work.
Wait, what? What did you say? What was the last thing you said?
You should be able to click. There should be an option on your character sheet to roll stop holding back.
You got to switch to cinematic moves.
What? Oh, okay, I see it. And then I still pick my things, right?
No, you just roll it. It's just your books. It's just going to be a +2 for us, unless somebody swapped one out. But I think everyone's. Oh, you did.
I lost one when I stopped holding back.
Like that? Is
Yep.
that how I was supposed to roll it?
Wait, there's something wrong with that roll.
I used my +1 if I'm allowed to from the scene.
Oh no, that should be an 8.
Yeah, it should be.
That should be an 8.
You know
Wonder why
what it is? It just wants you to do the take. It just wants you to put how much power you have. It doesn't just. It should just grab the Logos books you have. It looks like it doesn't do that.
Yeah, so it's an 8.
Yeah.
Fine.
It's an 8. Okay, so here's how it reads with a 7 or 9. On a 7 or 9, mark fade or crack and burn all the power tags on one theme. So which theme did you use in this particular case? Which one represents resurrection?
I'll be damned.
Okay, so burn all the tags in that. You're not going to be able to do that until you recover or until the session ends.
Okay.
You're going to mark a fade or crack on that theme book as well.
Okay.
Brutal.
Yeah. If that had been a 6, I had something very, very different in mind than what's about to happen.
Yeah, that's lucky. Honestly.
Yeah. Flora wasn't going to like what was going to happen, but it's the way that you described it. It seemed to make sense. All right. Just out of curiosity, where's Malcolm?
Right outside the door.
Okay. The form at first doesn't move at all, but you begin to feel the drawn spirit back, being pulled back from the underworld. And there's a faint glow that begins to kind of permeate along the corpse itself. And moving forward slowly, the physical form kind of slowly begins to shift, and you see breathing slightly, but it's not real breathing. It's the memory of breath being taken into the body, and you hear the breath become a little bit stronger, but it's not real breathing again. It's just it's the sound of breathing. It's not real. The motion is there, the sound is there, but it's not real. The corpse is not alive. It's not animated, and it begins to cough. And after a coughing fit, you hear the voice, and it says, "Hello?
Do you wish to see your son?"
What? Where?"
She pulls the picture up and holds it in her face.
Where am I?
You're dead. I understand this is difficult, but your son is here. I think he'd like to see you. We don't have long. And she just puts the journal on the side of the bed as well with the picture on it. And just looks to JP, and Malcolm can come in.
I just want to get this straight, that you're willingly showing an unstable child the corpse of his mother who is up and talking. And
That's what I'm about to say. Like, you say that to JP, and he like side eyes you and is like, "I don't think that's a very good idea."
Yeah, I'm gonna step in here and say I'm not sure that that's what Gephardt implied when he gave, or he intended when he gave Malcolm to JP's responsibility.
Well, that's what JP says. JP gives you a look and goes, "I don't think that's a very good idea."
What would most people give to say goodbye to a loved one who they couldn't? He lives in a fantasy world. He doesn't believe that I got that picture, even though he was there at the park with me and saw the portal. He's a little boy making things up because he lost his parents. He needs to snap out of it eventually, or it's going to get him killed. Look at all the danger we're in to save his friends.
I don't think this is your decision to make, Flora. I'm not even sure he can make this decision. You can't just force this on him. It's not fair.
If that's your choice. I will tell him that it is her, though.
I can't stop you.
Unless I stole that picture too and put it on this ship before we got here.
Look, I'm not trying to blame you. I understand that you think you're doing what's best. I just don't agree.
You do as you wish. She's gonna walk back over to the woman and just... I'm sorry I couldn't give you peace.
Peace for what?
She just flips open to one of the pages. They were documenting the fact that you were sick.
And I died?
Yes. I did meet your husband, though.
Where is he? Where is my husband? Is he back? Is he back with Malcolm?
I can't seem to find him. We've just been looking after Malcolm.
What is your name?
Flora.
How is he?
He's healthy. He's happy. He's living in a fantasy world, which I was hoping maybe you could help, but that doesn't seem like it's going to be an option.
He always did like to run and play. Where's my little girl?
She's safe. She's not with us.
And my husband, he's not here? Am I still on the ship?
Yes, we just got here. We're still dealing with some things right now. Difference of opinions, if you will. Do you remember anything? Where they were going, what they were doing?
No. Malcolm always called the hospital a ship. It was an adventure. It was the only way he would come and visit me. And as she says that, you get an image for just a second of what the hospital room looked like. And you see her husband, not dressed in pirate garb, but seated in the corner, asleep. And that flashes for just a second, and the doctor walks in, and he's holding a journal that looks exactly like the journal that you have. And that image fades. We made a deal, my husband and I. We would keep them innocent. But Malcolm should know that I love him.
She looks over her shoulder at JP.
It's her choice. He will step aside and let Malcolm come in. If he does.
Man.
Okay, so I just got to say this beforehand, before even Malcolm decides anything. The two of you are fucking terrible parents. You are no longer allowed to have kids of any kind. Get the hell out.
JP is not a parent. The parent of Malcolm just asked to see her son.
That's not what she said.
Your responsibility now, we fucking leave.
Didn't she just say that she wanted to see him?
Take care of it.
I just want to put it in perspective that, like, this is a 30-year-old corpse.
It sounded like she said she wanted to see him to me. Maybe I misunderstood.
Yeah, it's probably because her jaw is all rotten off. It's hard to say.
There's a 30-year-old corpse floating in a dead ship in the water. It's probably not holding up well.
No.
With 0 preservatives. It's like
No.
it's like a jelly, not a jam. I am not even mentally prepared to roleplay this.
To be fair, he's seen corpses in the morgue before.
Yeah, with all their flesh on them. Fresh corpses.
Not always.
They don't keep 30-year-old corpses in a morgue.
If they have to dig someone up, where do you think they keep them?
I don't think they'd keep them for that long in a morgue.
It happens sometimes.
They do.
Well, maybe I would. Maybe JP would still just stop him. I don't know.
Can Malcolm hear any of what's happening in that room, or is it too
Presumably,
loud?
you can.
His face is just horror struck with JP.
Presumably, we're doing the thing that adults frequently do, where they just assume that the kid they're talking about is not paying attention and can't like actually hear
Or
them.
we spell mom out.
To be fair, Malcolm has proved that point to be valid. He never really pays attention in most conversations. However, Mike asks a really good point, and I'm going to defer this back to Flora. Would Malcolm actually hear the conversation, since, for the most part, anytime that you interact as a character with corpses, it has been in a one-sided conversation for most people to hear. Only you and the corpse are actually able to interact.
No, it's the spirit. She's never talked to a corpse before in front of other people, so I think it would talk. I think they would also hear.
I'm going to leave it up to Malcolm whether he's heard any of the exchange.
Man, all right. Remind me what the last thing said was, so I can attempt to process this.
She said the mom said she loved you. And then I looked at JP, and JP moved out of the way.
Did she say she loved her son, or did she say she loved Malcolm?
Malcolm.
Loved her. Yes.
Oh,
Tell Malcolm I love him.
that's what she said.
Oh, fuck me.
I just like putting you in shitty situations.
It's not a shitty situation. Like, now I'm gonna be the villain of the game. Yeah, I guess as JP, like, concertedly begins to move away, you hear from behind you, JP, I'm Malcolm.
I don't know if trying to decide if JP would try to stop Malcolm from going in or not.
Who's in there? Who's Flora talking to?
Someone who died a long time ago.
How... Is it a skeleton? Do we have to kill... Is this a pirate skeleton?
No.
Oh. Is it a regular skeleton?
Yes.
Do we have to kill it?
No.
Is it a friendly skeleton?
I suppose so.
What does that mean? I don't know what to do with a friendly skeleton. What do you do with the... Don't hit it with a sword?
I just look at Flora. I'm not sure what to say. JP is no more emotionally prepared to deal with this situation than anyone else in the room. Let's be real.
Who are you talking to?
JP's giving you this look like you fucking made her start
Flora?
talking.
You stuffed a ghost back in a 30-year-old corpse, lady. This is on you.
Flora goes and walks over to the door and hands Malcolm the picture and opens the journal.
Okay.
Malcolm, you recognize the picture. It's one of you and Tink that's incredibly when you were both very young.
Okay.
I have an idea. JP looks at Malcolm and looks at the corpse and it's looking back and forth. And he is going to try to use the power of his magic, the 72 transformations, to make her, use his illusion to make her look like
How she did.
how she would have on her deathbed, as opposed to as a corpse. And I'm guessing that this is either a change the game or maybe even something beyond that, because this is probably the close. This is the most kind of out there way JP has probably used his magic so far. It's been mostly internal, transforming himself.
Man, that sounds like a significant stop holding back.
But yeah, that's what I want to do.
I'm going to make a suggestion. It's the only time I'm ever going to intercede in the game in a way that prevents Malcolm from doing something batshit crazy.
Okay.
And that's, I think that's a great idea. I think that if that's what you want to do and that's what you decide to do, that's going to be fucking phenomenal, and I hope it fails. Just going to say that right now. The alternative would be to get Malcolm to also do a stop holding back and get him to imagine his mom.
So here's the reason why JP is not doing this, is because JP repeatedly has failed to be able to do the thing that Gephardt could do, where he could stoke Malcolm's imagination and like use it in that way. JP's tried to do that a number of times, and every time he just runs into a brick wall. And not only that, but he's really, really worried about Malcolm losing control the way he's seen him do now 2 times around this pirate ship situation. So as usual, JP is going to do the normal thing he does, where he tries to put himself in danger instead of the people around him, and instead of trying to avoid the danger entirely, tries to take it all on himself because he doesn't really know any other way to do it.
Okay. That seems to... Okay. I like it.
So I think what this looks like, we've seen him do his transformation magic before, and normally it's kind of just like involved with the cloning. It's just like kind of part of the poofing of the hair. I think when he transforms someone else, I think we like sort of see him in this slightly meditative state, and then his eyes flash that golden color with the fiery gold pupils, like sort of lighting up the room before going back to a dull glow as he tries to cast this illusion. Let's see what happens.
Well, hold on a second. You're treating this as a stop holding back, right?
Is that what you guys think? I'm perfectly happy to see it as a change the game if you want.
I don't know. This is the first time he's doing something externally, right?
I don't think I've used my I don't know that I've used this particular tag on anyone other than myself and my clones, but if somebody can think of an example.
No, I think it's a stop holding back.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think maybe like this is a moment where JP like actually realizes that he like didn't really quite realize that he could use this magic on anything other than himself. Yeah, that's cool.
Freaking noob.
He is. He's a total noob. He just bumbles around. Let's do it.
Okay.
9's passable.
Wait, we didn't actually discuss what type of...
I thought you did that after.
No, we did that before.
Oh, well, either way, I got a 9.
I think it's only significant.
Okay, let's have that discussion real quick then, because I think it's actually no return.
It is kind of no return for Malcolm.
Tell me about why it's significant, Mike.
So the act of how he's using his power, the only new way he's using it is by using it on someone else. He's changed shape and outfits and looks before, so that's not new to him. The only new aspect is using that on someone else.
Okay.
So basically he's only fancying up a corpse, right? His only goal was to make the corpse look fresh.
That's not his only goal.
Wasn't it? To
Nope.
make it look like she looked when she died.
That's the result he was looking for, but his goal was to prevent you from going fucking batshit crazy.
Correct. That's the core. That's the core, is that
Okay.
I'm trying to do this for an intended result, right?
I rescind. I say it could be no return. If that's the ultimate goal, is to stop Malcolm or to prevent Dark Malcolm from coming out, then yeah, I think that is more no return than significant.
So I was leaning towards significant at first until Johnny said that, and now because I kind of agree, it's like I see this as it's less JP's mythos manifesting and more JP's mythos trying to counteract Malcolm's, trying to like shut down that darker side with its own power, which I think is a little bit more than just using the powers in a weird and distinct way.
Yep.
Okay. Do Jens or Frags have any input to add to that? Because this being in no return and being 7 to 9, something significant happens for JP at this point. So, does Ginger or Frags have any input in this at all?
I am just excited to see what's about to happen. I don't really have thoughts one way or the other. I just know it's gonna be great.
I'm just glad to be here, guys.
Yeah, somebody's about to
be
get.
like, could you repeat that? I think no return.
Okay. So, JP,
Which
on a
theme
7 to
book?
9, you replace one theme.
Man, what do you guys think? What theme book
I mean, it has to be the one that transforms, right? So your transforming theme book.
is that how it always is? It's always the one you used?
I am going to double check that right now. However, I believe when Mike had to do that with Malcolm, that was the theme book that he altered. So the one thing I will say about this is that it's such a core part of who JP is. We probably need to have a real discussion if that's what the rules say and see if that actually makes sense, given the.
I'm curious to see what the rules say first, and then kind of go from there. I'm more than happy to have JP go down to one mythos book if that's where the story goes for the last episode. That's like totally fine with me. I'm just kind of curious because I if there is a discussion to have, I'd like to have it.
So one thing to note is there is nothing in the rules that say if you lose a logos, you have to switch to mythos. If you lose a logos, you can make a new logos.
Oh.
Yeah. I thought the same thing,
Does that
and
go
then
the other
went
way?
back. Yep. If you lose a logos, you can make a new logos, or you can make a mythos. Like I lost a logos and made a mythos.
So if but it goes both ways. So if I lose a mythos, I could do.
Yep.
Okay, that's interesting. All right, well that definitely takes. All right, hold on. Let's find the rule for this move real quick.
It is on page 289 in the PDF.
Alrighty.
Yeah, you. It says nothing specifically about replacing any given theme book. It says your character will replace a theme book, which is permanent. At the very least, you will burn all tags in the theme and mark fade.
Yeah, so I could see one of. So the only other tag I really am leaning towards changing the tag for the power I used because that seems like the natural choice. The only one that I was maybe thinking about was I also have the protect my people theme book, which this felt a lot like it was that, but I'm almost wondering if that means that shouldn't change because that's like the reason he used his power was to like try to help protect Malcolm. But those seem like the two most in play with what was going on in the scene.
Okay, so if you go to 294 or 293 is the text of what's called crisis and beginning, replacing a theme. Again, it doesn't really specify. Yeah, it doesn't specify that you explicitly have to replace that one. Now I kind of wish we had read this back when Malcolm did it. But long story short, why don't you go ahead and look at that, and we'll let the scene play out for Malcolm.
Yeah. Give me a minute, and we can go from there. Sorry about that.
No, it's totally fine. I'm just going to give you a moment to read the rule book so that we can get the story continuing on screen. All right. before we stop with this, JP, what does it look like when this magic happens? When this mythos, this power set, just sort of, moves into the room in front of Malcolm as the corpse is transformed.
Yeah. So we get like the flashing in his eyes, and I think so. I think maybe sort of almost like an unnatural breeze kind of comes up, and maybe the corpse is almost like sort of, it's not quite fog, but it's like almost as though she's shrouded in fog. It's kind of like makes it difficult for the corpse to look at momentarily, and then it kind of resolves into this new form. Where it has skin and clothes and is not a desiccated corpse.
All right, so Malcolm, as you move into the room, describe to us what your mother looks like.
Man, Johnny, I don't know what she looks like.
That's perfectly fine. You figured it out.
Yeah, so Jamie is a redhead, because so is Malcolm. She looks... actually, you know what? Her hair would most likely be short and shaved off, because she looks like a cancer patient. And she looks kind of like a corpse at this point. Like, her skin is sallow, she's thin, there's like very little muscle definition. Her eyes look kind of sunken and like black eye, not like black eye, but like that you haven't been sleeping eye situation. And she just kind of looks frail. But she has like piercing green eyes that are still super bright despite her state of decay in this disease. And Malcolm kind of looks in. The last thing he said was, "Flora, who are you talking to?" As he starts to walk in the room.
What does Flora say?
Malcolm.
Your
mother. And she's still holding out the picture for him.
But how did you find my mom? And he kind of takes the picture and he looks to the person, and you can see that he's struggling to recognize the person. Like, he's like searching the person, but it's not coming across that it is at least who she or you say it is. How did you find my mom?
Do you remember I told you I went and I saw your father?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like she was being held down here because she was sick. And this journal was left with her in her final days.
Did my dad rescue her from the evil wizard?
She was sick, Malcolm.
I know. She was cursed by an evil sorcerer.
No.
Yeah.
Physical health. She looks over to his mother and just, go talk to her. While you can.
What do you mean?
She looks over at JP.
You found her and now she's back, right?
She's dead, Malcolm. I brought her back to talk with you so you could say goodbye. Properly. She wants to tell you she loves you.
Oh man!
Do it.
Use the dead.
Do it.
You use the dead word. Shit. Malcolm goes to close the door, like, and push you out of the room.
Okay, she leaves willingly.
And he sits on the bed, and he sort of sits on like the edge of the bed. You know, that thing that kids do when they're uncomfortable. He sits on the edge of the bed, and he's holding the picture, and he's kicking his feet and not looking at the person. And he says, "So, the creepy floor lady says that you're dead."
I'm sorry.
But how did you die? Did the sorcerer get you?
Yes, sweetheart.
But how did you get on the boat? Did Dad save you? Did he rescue you? He said that he had to go on an adventure to rescue you.
He did. We've been traveling a long time, but I got really, really sick. And I couldn't go on.
So, why are you in a cave?
Your father left me here. He had hoped to find a cure and come back. But he's been gone so long.
But, do you think he's gonna come back? Now that you're alive again, you come back and fix it?
I don't have an answer for you, Malcolm.
Okay.
Your friend Flora, though, says that she's seen him, so maybe she can help you find him and bring him back to me.
Okay.
To say hi.
What if my friend JP, the real JP, not the other JPs, because there's a couple JPs and they are all big strong. And what if he carries you and then we go home to my house and then I introduce you to all my friends and then you can see Talia and then we'll wait at my house and then when Dad comes he can come find you there and then he'll give you the medicine. We can bring the whole ship. It's big enough. We can have everyone bring the ship. JP and all the other JPs can carry the ship. It's fine. He carries a lot of people. And one time he carried a bus that I flew on top of a building. And I think he can carry a whole ship.
You can hear the smile in her voice, Malcolm, when she says, I always did love your imagination. You tell the most wonderful stories, Malcolm. I don't know if that's possible, though.
No, it is possible. He can jump really far, but he can't swim really good, and so he'll just pick you up, and then he'll put everyone else down, and then he'll jump really far all the way from this island back to the docks, and then I live right near the docks, and it's fine. It's just a quick walk to my house, and then we'll make you a bedroom because you're a grown up and there's kids there, and I don't want to see grown up stuff, and then we'll put like a curtain up, and then you have your own place to stay in my house, and you can live there too.
That sounds wonderful. Why don't you let me talk to the Flora lady?
Okay.
Malcolm?
Mm-hmm.
Before you go,
Mm-hmm.
tell Talia that I miss her. And then I love her.
Okay, I can do that. But then, why don't you just tell her that? Because we're gonna bring you with the boat, and you can live in the boat in my house. And
Because
then
when we
she
get
can-
there, I might be too tired.
Okay, well then we'll tell you take a nap, and then we'll come back, and then we'll play games.
That sounds good, sweetheart.
Okay. And he puts the picture down and gets up and walks to the door.
He would see Flora just standing in the doorway.
Well, he has his hand on the doorknob, and he looks back, and on the other side of the door, you hear an adult male voice say, "Sorry, I couldn't save you." And then he opens the door, and you see Malcolm. He says, "My mom wants to talk to you."
She's gonna walk in. She's putting her gloves back in, walks in, and kind of like pats you on the back and walks over to the bed.
He thinks he can save me.
I was
You what? What did you think this would do? Do you think this would make it easier on him?
No, I was hoping it would change him. He puts himself in danger. If we weren't around, he wouldn't be here. We lost one. He was supposed to be taking care of him. And we lost him.
You see her visibly shaking her head, and the corpse, while the head moves, it gives you a little. There's a sickening sensation of just the way that she's moving, even for you, because you can see that it's taking a lot of effort from the spirit. When he finds out that I can't come with him,
He'll be angry with me. I'm aware. I can take it so he can say goodbye.
but he didn't say goodbye. He thinks we're
didn't.
saving. Okay.
Even
Find
if
his
it was
father.
the damage is done.
She shakes her head. Find his father. Return him to his family.
Lie down. She's going to help her and put her back kind of like the way she was when she walked in. And I don't know if Malcolm's watching.
I don't think so. I think he would have closed the door and started talking to JP.
Okay. Well, I thought JP was still in the room.
No, he pushed you guys both out of the room.
Oh, I thought it was just me.
No.
Yeah, you would just see her when she's laying down, just take her hand, and you almost see her arm go through the bed as if she's pushing the spirit out of the body. And she's just gonna hold the hand for a moment and just sit on the ground, and you hear her talking to herself quietly. And then she stands up and then leaves.
And then you pick up the whole boat, and then we can carry the whole boat out of here, and then we can sail back, and then we sail back all the way, and then maybe if we're lucky, we give this boat to the floor lady, and she can turn the boat back in so she doesn't get in trouble, and then we take my mom, and then you carry her, and then we bring her back to we're talking about we're gonna bring my mom back.
She's gone, Malcolm.
Where did she go?
She was very sick. She didn't make it.
She didn't make it where though. We didn't even leave yet. Was supposed to get JP to bring her out of the with the boat and bring her back. And because my dad looking for
Her
a cure.
dying wish was to have your father found. That's our next goal, is to find your father if we can.
But she was just fine.
Do you remember what happened to Mr. G?
Mm-hmm.
How he's not here anymore?
Kinda.
He's not around every day to hang out with us?
Mm-hmm.
He was sick too, right?
No. He seemed okay.
And when you saw him walk away with his family, he left for good.
Mm-hmm.
One day, a very long time from now, your mom will come get you, and you can leave with her.
But why
But
can't?
she's gone for now.
But why can't I do that right now? She's only right there.
She's been gone for some time, Malcolm. I brought her back so you could say goodbye to her. For now.
Well then, why don't you just bring her back all the way, forever?
Because not everyone can live forever.
Why not?
You know how I am happy some days, like this, the rest?
Yeah.
Everything has an end. I deal with people all day. You saw them on my tables. That's why I do this. Because I can speak to spirits.
Well then, bring her back and make her happy some days and sad other days, like you.
If this body were gone, I would not exist. Her body
It's right
is
there.
broken.
But it's right there.
She's with Mr. G now.
But I don't want her with Mr. G. Mr. G has his own family.
It's just the way it is, Malcolm. But we have to find your dad. She asked us to, okay?
Man.
And she hands him the picture again of him and his sister that he left on the bed, and she has the diary or the journal on top of it.
He takes the picture and then says, but if we find my dad, he has a cure, and then you can take my dad here, and then you can bring her back, and then my dad can cure her, and then her body will be fine.
She's not coming back, Malcolm.
But I don't understand why. You did it before. And then this time...
She doesn't have a body to come back to. It doesn't work. It's broken.
But
you can't fix it, Malcolm.
But the cure, my dad has a cure.
That's for people who are alive, Malcolm.
But how do you know? It's magic.
No, that's not how that works, Malcolm. This is real life.
How do you know?
This isn't something you imagined.
How do you know?
Because I just spoke to her, and because I know your dad. I know this isn't easy, and I know that I might have made it worse, but at least you got to see her. One day you'll understand why.
Yeah, I think...
She's gonna walk over to JP.
I think Malcolm just stares at the picture and goes completely silent.
Yeah. She's gonna just look at JP. I'll be the bad guy if I have to. We do have to go look for his father. She thinks he might still be alive.
All right, so I think this is the moment where we should decide, because I've got a good idea of two different options for what happened after the 7 to 9, and they're going to pretty strongly impact what happens here. So I wanted to leave it to you guys, because I wanted to see what you guys would think would be more interesting moving into the last episode. The way I see it is JP either loses his protect my people tag, the reason being that in order to access this greater power from his mythos, he had to sacrifice some of himself. And one of the fundamental aspects, especially early on in his mythos' story, is this capricious nature, which is kind of at odds with JP's wanting to protect his people. It's something that the mythos has to grow into, whereas JP kind of has naturally. The other option I was thinking of would be, so basically that would mean he'd lose that. He would become a little bit more like his mythos, a little bit more detached. Sounds
like a regression.
Right. A bit of a regression into the mythos in a lot of ways. Whereas the other option would be he basically overused the 72 transformations tag, and essentially like in a spurt of power from his mythos, kind of ends up cutting himself off from that by overusing it, which would lead to basically a diminished mythos JP, where it would be less of a personality change, I think, and more of a sort of the bigger difference there would be him trying to contend with the fact that now he is less able to help his friends. And I don't really know which one I think is more interesting, so I figured I would ask you guys.
Nobody else wants to go first?
I also don't know which one's more interesting.
So I will chime in with what I see both of those changes doing to the crew. I see the first change with that capricious nature really fitting in really well with Malcolm on the surface, but being actually a pretty strong contrast when it comes to actual tangible results, right? Malcolm's playfulness has a purpose. The capricious nature of your mythos learns that purpose through experience. But at that level, if it's a regression into the mythos, then it's almost like it's something that the character would have to relearn. in some way, shape, or form. So it might actually be at odds with some of the things that Malcolm's doing. I think it's ultimately going to piss Flora and Scratch off.
I definitely agree.
Basically,
the trade-off is JP becomes more useful, but like harder to get to do useful things, or he becomes less useful and maybe a bit more willing to try to go above and beyond.
I think the other thing about the diminished JP makes him a much stronger personality. Like character development wise, it makes a lot more sense. But I think the mythos stepping up and asserting itself really kind of plays really well into the whole sacrificial element of what you were trying to do. It was ultimately about Malcolm and saving everybody from Malcolm. It was a big sort of like throw yourself in the middle, right in front of the attack that's coming.
You know what? Hearing both sides of that now, I think I like losing your mythos better. Because to me, what it sounds like is the capricious nature of your mythos, right? Is a trickster, is a prankster, doesn't have any regard for really other people. And if I remember my story is correct, he like rebelled against authority and other allies and shit like that. And so the personality of JP, which is essentially your logos, was so strong that would have broke your mythos. So I like the idea of as a person you grew, like your desire to help outshone the desire to do rampaging, crazy, nonsensical things. As a character, that makes more sense to me. That's how it would break.
That works for me.
I don't know. So I'm sold on that, except that given where the story is and what's going on, a diminished JP. Well, RP wise, it might be really interesting. I think it's going to put a lot of pressure on the rest of the group because JP has been filling such a huge role.
Good.
I think it'll be interesting no matter what happens, which is why I wanted to leave it up to the table. I think there's a delicious irony in JP losing his ability or losing his desire to throw himself in front of the bus in an effort to do just that. And I also think that there's kind of a delicious irony in losing the ability to do this thing that helps save the group because he wanted to do that. So I think either way it works. Though the big reason I'm tempted to go with dropping the mythos is I don't think we've seen anyone do that. I think we've seen a lot of people progress towards becoming more of the avatar, but I don't know that we've seen anyone go the other way, have we?
No, we haven't. I think the one question I have though is, does JP want to go out on a strong note or a whimper?
I mean, I think it could be strong either way. It's just a different kind of strong character, right?
Okay.
I think I want to lose the mythos if you guys are all okay with it. I think it's interesting to see, and I think, like I'm almost imagining like if we take this back down to the fiction level, like maybe somewhere in this internal battle, there was this choice where it's like he kind of realizes sort of in this struggle with the mythos that he kind of has to commit and lose some of himself, or he's going to lose some of the powers, and he chooses to pull back instead. Yeah, I think I like that. I think I'm going to dump my 72 transformations tag. I'm going to come up for it with a name for this tag, but I believe that it's going to be a routine, and it's going to tie into his odd job thing as sort of like a freelance investigator.
Okay.
So once I've got that more fleshed out, I will let you guys know, hopefully before the end of this game, but I only have an hour and 15 minutes, so we'll see if I get there.
Okay. So with that in mind, then how does JP respond to Flora?
Yeah. So he nods, and he says, is he gonna be okay?
Time will tell. He's still in denial, but No kid that age should not understand what death is. I'm sorry that you don't agree with me, but this is all I deal in.
I don't disagree. I wasn't sure it was the right way or the right moment, but
You did something. He didn't scream when he saw her. He didn't faint. He didn't throw up.
I did what I normally do when I change shape, but for her.
She puts her arm on his shoulder, like on the edge of his shoulder. Thank you. You made this easier for him.
What's the point of being able to do this stuff if we're never making anything better? I mean, I feel like half the time we've been here, we've just been bumbling around, fucking things up. Not really sure that this was anything different, but if I can help at least a little bit.
It's not like I know what I'm doing either, to be fair. Gephardt was always the one that made the plans. Those were nefarious plans, but at least someone was making plans.
Well, we'll just have to figure it out from here, I guess.
We should go look around and figure out what that's about, as she points over Scratch. Is he still humming? Or being a weirdo?
Yes.
Can she poke him in the face?
And with that, we're going to poke him in the face and go back to Frags. Scratch. Scratch, you are in the middle of the action. Gunfight is going on. You continue to evade and evade and evade, but it never seems to change. And Samuel's starting to really laugh at you. It's quite a dance. We're going to keep doing this?
How many bullets does this damn gun have?
He keeps reloading and keeps moving forward.
Wow, what a coincidence. I too am moving forward.
Always forward.
Always forward.
Always forward is right.
Yeah, I want to get up into his griddle.
Okay, so what do you mean by that? Do you want to dance around and move between the ones that are keeping you far away as the gun battle is continuing? Basically, he's firing shots and keeping away, and there are two skulls that are just continuing to get in your way. So how are you going to circumvent this and close the distance essentially?
You ever seen that Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna Sherlock Holmes it. And no, I'm not gonna do that.
No, that's actually interesting. I've been waiting for somebody to actually bring that up in a tabletop game. Explain that, what you mean by that.
Yeah, so he's gonna see the skull guys coming at him, and his internal monologue is,
If I just hit him a little bit to the left, right above the cheek part of his neck, I can decapacitate him and then take a side step to my right and dodge another bullet. And then I'll duck under real quick and hit this other guy with an uppercut. Yeah, and then I'll push him over because he'll be in so much pain. And then there's nothing stopping me from getting to Samuel. Dodge a couple more bullets, hop, skip, jump, mosey my way right up into his face.
and that's what he's gonna say in his head to himself.
Okay.
None of that's gonna happen.
Are you sure? Because that sounds pretty good enough for me to say, what kind of a roll is that? What kind of a move is that?
Is there a I seen it on TV move roll?
Seems like either it's a hit him with all you got, or even potentially a go toe to toe.
I would make it a go toe to toe.
Okay. So what power tags fall into that?
Definitely.
Definitely what?
Sorry, I was navigating tabs here. Definitely the time signature, because you still speeding up time. And
Okay.
now he's humming "Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting."
Makes sense.
Yeah. And go to 11 because things are getting super intense.
Okay.
So he's cranking it up. He's gonna give himself some armor too, just as to wrap it up. He's gonna imbue himself with his face is gonna start glowing blue, and he's gonna essentially be the master of whatever the hell I'm trying to do here. And crowd work, you know. You can move through big crowds, talk to people almost unimpeded. So I feel like moving my way through a couple goons.
Okay.
Ain't too big of a deal.
All right. I'm gonna let you just roll it straight with all those power attacks. There's no negatives going at you at this point.
Ooh, neato.
Roll it.
All right. Well, I have 4 clicked, and it's only giving me 3 here. Oh, there we go. Go toe to toe. Boom.
Great success. All right. For those in the real world, not in the dream world, not only do you hear the tune change to "Everybody Is Kung Fu Fighting," you also hear Scratch mumbling under his breath. Everything that he just described to us, you just hear him mumbling.
Oh God! Right in the throat.
Everything just begins to kind of shift and move. For Scratch, as he moves, he navigates through the fight and does exactly that, and comes. You close the distance with to Samuel, and now you're standing right in front of him, and he's surprised that you're right there with him.
Does he go Nani?
He's kind of taken aback, and he stops firing, and he's still got the coin clutched in his hand, and he's trying to turn the gun towards you. So you've closed the distance. You've got him in there. What are you doing?
Do your standard tactical disarm. No. Slap the wrist away from the direction of the gun. Make sure you pass it right in front of your face. Because if this doesn't work out, you want to make sure you don't want to live to see the embarrassment of what's going to happen afterwards. No.
I'm so confused right now.
It's a skit online.
Yeah, it's nothing. I'm gonna noob move here, and I'm gonna grab the wrist with the gun and try to just, and pull his arm backwards and toss the gun out of his hand.
Hit him with all you got then, because that's what it sounds like. Doesn't sound like you're going toe to toe with him, because you've got him in a bad position.
Sounds like a guy who just pretended he knew how to fight. Things ended up working out, and now he's trying something else that sounds good in his head.
Isn't that how most tabletop works?
Yeah, of course. Still going to 11. Still going to have that time signature going.
Okay.
I feel like nothing much has changed with those 3, because it's all been within the heat of the moment. I'd say approachable, because I have approached him in the most fantastical way.
Okay.
And,
Do it.
Okay. Do it. And this was face danger?
No, this was hit him with all you got, I believe.
Oh, yeah, it was a hitting with all I possess.
Nobody's used Al crits yet, and we got an hour left. All right, great success.
I don't know Al crit. Sorry.
You say that now, you've just cursed yourself and the rest of the group. Good job.
What? I won.
So the gun is taken out of his hand and sort of, kind of tossed away, and you're able to get him into a position. Now you've got you've got him in the to your advantage, and he drops the coin as it sort of clatters the token, or it clatters to the ground and just sort of spins there. He's like, "What are you going to do now, Scratch? You've got me. You can hold on to me or the coin." Who do you want more?
How far away is the coin from him?
It's clattering on the ground, and you've got him, you basically got him, he's in your grasp. You've manhandled him. You've got him taken care of. You've got him controlled. So
Scratch is going to reveal that he's actually Spider-Man, and he shoots a web at the coin and pull. No, Scratch is going to take his hat off and throw it on top of the coin.
okay, so your hat falls down to the coin. And he begins to kind of move and take a punch at you. So you can either face danger or go toe to toe with him.
Well, I'm still like, but I'm gonna take one to the right to the jowls, huh?
You're gonna take the shot. You're gonna take the hit.
No, I'm saying, is that what you're saying? That he's?
Yeah,
I don't want to take a hit. No.
Right. So you can face danger and not take the hit, or you can go toe to toe and take some of the damage and potentially get him too.
We're gonna face danger. I want to dodge this, but I also want to use my Al crit.
Okay.
It's
1d2.
1's a fail, 2's a crit.
Cool.
All right, so that's one of your Al crits. How describe how you were going to defend yourself, or you were going to back away from this hit that he had.
How was I going to?
Yes. What was your?
Well, I was gonna. My plan was to throw the hat on the coin, while still being. I thought throwing the hat on the coin would solve me having to go away from him to grab the coin.
Right. Well, you
not. So that was the point of throwing the hat. When he swings at me, I'm gonna dodge left, but I should have probably dodged right. And because what I was gonna do was deflect the blow and tackle him, but that didn't happen, and I dodged the wrong way.
Womp womp.
Okay, so as you dodge the wrong way, a fist connects with your jaw, and you feel your entire jaw just sort of shift a little bit as it takes the pain. And you continue in, and he kind of wraps around and grabs you for the throat. Wrapping his arm around you, just kind of getting you into a chokehold, and you start to feel the loss of breath a little bit. And he says, "Now, Beauregard, I won. You're going to submit to me." And the grip begins to tighten around your neck. You going to give in? You going to let me win like you always did?
I don't think I'll always let you win.
I'm gonna tuck my chin. No, fuck, dude,
You got this, man. Come on. You got this.
Can I reach my hat with my foot and
Sure.
the token over to me, or the hat over to me, so that I may be able to have the token as well?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna grab the token.
Well, he's got you in a chokehold. You can scoot the hat over with the token, but you can't actually get down to it. You can't reach down to it. Like, he's got you in a full-on chokehold.
Full-on chokehold.
That's what happens when you failed your owl crit.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, fine. He's gonna tell him I'll do what you want.
And he says, "That's better." And he lets you go, and he pushes you. And at the same time as he pushes you, he reaches down for your hat. And under it is the coin.
I'm going to kick him in the face when he reaches down for my hat. No.
Well, you want to do that? Go ahead.
No. Nothing that way seems to be working out. The violent direction does not seem to be going where I needed to go. So, so is he going to give me my hat, I guess?
He picks up the coin and your hat, tosses your hat to you, and says, "It's time to get to work."
Scratch is going to go shifty-eyed. It's like squint. Work.
There's plenty of work to be done, Scratch. Find me in the real world.
Yeah, that might take a while. How about this? I'll make you a deal. I work for you, you stop everything. Stop chasing these kids. Wake this one up. You stop coming for my friends. Then we could work something out.
Why, Scratch, that sounds like a deal with the devil.
You gonna take it? Or we just gonna sit here looking at ourselves all night? I mean, this is my dream and you are me.
You just made a deal with yourself, boy.
I'm the best dealer I know.
Samuel will be waiting for you.
Tell him not to wait too long.
He smiles at you and hands you the coin. And as the coin comes into your hands, you awake. And as you're kind of shaking yourself off under the arm of one of the JPs, which must be uncomfortable for you because you've been hanging that way for a really long time, there's a coin in your hand.
What's on the coin?
It says the name Gideon.
Neat.
The rest of you see JP or Scratch begin to stir.
Where are we at
Is
this
this
point?
while she's poking him?
Yes. As uncomfortable as that is.
You can put me down, please.
JP.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I put him down.
I was gonna be like, nah, I'm just gonna hold you.
Just gonna cradle you like a little baby for a while. No,
Tiny baby.
Ready.
put you down.
Scratch is gonna stand up and kind of wipe himself off.
How long?
How long?
How long have I been away?
Couple hours.
Sounds about right.
And he's gonna look at Malcolm,
Hey, kid.
Yeah.
and he's gonna dramatically flip the coin to him.
And he looks at it and like tries to catch it, and it fumbles, and it like ding 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 ding. It's the wooden boat. And he kind of picks it up and he says, "What do I do with this?"
I don't know. You tend to figure everything else out. It's got your little friend's name on it, though.
Oh. Should I give it to him?
He's your friend.
Okay.
I mean, he wakes up and the first thing he sees is a man he don't know.
Be like grade school all over again.
Yeah, there's a reason I'm not allowed 500 feet.
Okay. I don't know what that means. JP, JP, what do we call the rest of you?
JP's.
That's also JP.
Okay, also JP, can you put down my friend? Oh no, wait, the dog has it, right? Sarah Barry and Gus has Gideon. Yeah, he goes over and
That's
like
correct.
he like pats Barry on the head. And he says, "Can you put him down? Put him down." And I assume the dog like drops down and sort of slides the kid off. And he takes the coin and he puts it in Gideon's hand and closes his hand on the coin. And then he says, "Ta-da!" to see if anything happens. You're muted.
Oh,
But I'm
okay.
sure the kid wakes up and everything's fine.
Why would you even assume that? Gideon begins to stir slowly, and he kind of shifts, and then his eyes slowly open. He looks up and says, "Malcolm, where am I?"
Well, right now you're on a boat, but you took another boat and then you came to an island and then you drank a cup, I think, and then you fell asleep for a long time. And then I came here to find you, and then we beat up a kraken, but we lost our boat. And then Miss Flora Lady found my mom, and then now we have to go find my dad. Oh, and this is Mr. Scratch, and he also took a nap. What are you doing out here? You were being weird.
I heard voices.
Out here?
Yeah.
What did they say?
They told me to come home.
But your home is not on this island. You don't live on the island. You live over on the other side in my house.
It said I'd come home to my family.
What? Well, we're like family.
Yeah, I know. But I had a dream. I had a mom and a dad,
Oh.
and they were calling for me.
Where were they? Where were they? On this island?
Yeah. And he kind of looks around. Yeah, they were here, but now they're gone.
Oh, we only found a dead guy. He was still dead, though. So you want to come?
Looks-
You want to come home? This island kind of sucks.
I'm the voices said that I was supposed to stay here, but sure, I'll go home with you.
But
What are we doing? What are we doing now?
Well, we got to find my dad. But why do you have to stay here? What's here? Is there something here? Is there a treasure on the island? Are there pirates on the island? Is there treasure pirates? Skeleton treasure pirates?
No. Just my mom and dad.
Oh. Did you find them, though?
No.
Okay.
But you found your mom.
Miss Flora found my mom, but then she said that she's dead. But then she came back, and then we talked, and then now she's going to go to sleep, and then JP is going to carry the boat out of here, and then when we find my dad has a magical cure for her, and then I'm going to prove Miss Flora Lady wrong, that the magical cure works on everybody. And then we're going to have my mom and dad back. And then they can be your mom and dad.
Wait. And he shakes his head. Malcolm, I was dreaming I was you.
Oh, that must have been a good dream.
Your mom and dad were here.
No, I said that. My mom was here. My dad is somewhere
No.
else. We got to go find my dad.
I was dreaming I was you.
Okay.
I'm supposed to help you find your dad now.
Yeah, that works, because that's where I'm going.
No, he's in there.
In where?
And he points to the captain's cabin.
But that's just a skeleton, like a pirate skeleton.
Just shakes his head.
But my dad wasn't a pirate or a skeleton. He was a guy, not a pirate.
He just points and says and shakes his head.
Flora's gonna walk up to him and just. Do you know who that is in there?
I hear a voice that says, it's calling me son and saying hello, but it's not me. It's like I'm still in a dream. I think I'm dreaming. I think I'm dreaming I'm Malcolm.
Go to the voice. And she's gonna point in the cabin.
Me? No. It's no. No. I'm sorry. No, I don't want Malcolm. Don't make me do it.
I already went in there and no one said anything to me. It was just a boring dead pirate. I'll go. What if I go with you? What if we all go with you?
You were in there before, while you were unconscious.
And you see the boys start to panic. Gideon clearly has there's a bunch of things kind of playing across his face all at once. He's not really sure what to make of that. That's not possible. I've been here with you. I was asleep and then I was here with you.
Yeah, no, we brought you in there. There was a bed in there. We put you on the bed. We put Mr. Scratch on the bed. JP.
He shakes his head.
JP
was just like,
you.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, we picked you up. We carried you over the lava, and then we carried you over here, and then you fell in the water. Sorry about that, but then we picked you up out of the water, and everything's fine. And then we came on top of this boat, and then we climbed inside there, and we saw the pirate, and then we put you on the bed, and then we were going to leave you on the bed, but we figured, what if the pirate wakes up and he's a skeleton pirate, and then that probably wouldn't be good because you can't fight back because you're asleep. So we decided to take you with us.
And you start to see him hyperventilate. No, I don't want to go in there, Malcolm.
Okay.
And you begin to hear something stir in the bowels of the ship.
What if I go in there, and then if it's safe, then you can come in, and if it's not safe, then I fight a pirate, and then I make it safe.
I'm okay. You go. You go. I just. You hear more stirring inside of the ship.
Okay, I'm gonna go fight the pirate, Captain. If anyone wants to come help.
Flora looks over at JP and nods toward him.
JP, you gonna come watch me fight the pirate?
Well, hopefully we won't have to fight him.
I know, but it's okay. I don't want you to get hurt again fighting pirates. I got this one.
Like I said, hopefully we don't have to fight him. We'll try talking first.
Okay.
Can I try something while they wander off?
I don't know. What are you going to try?
She's going to try to do her normal where she sits down for a few minutes and tries to attune to see if there's any spirits nearby.
Your description
closes her eyes.
Your description confuses me.
She did it with
how she comes out of her body and
she did it with Gephardt's family.
I've done it
I know.
2 or 3.
I know. You've done it 2 or 3 times, but the way you described it was a tune, and I was like,
I've
been playing a different game.
Plays in the dark.
Okay, so yeah, absolutely. What kind of a role is that, though? Is this an investigate or is this something else?
I think this is an investigate because if he's hearing things, she's like, maybe it's a spirit somehow talking to him. We just found his mom. It wouldn't be that far off that there's another corpse that he's saying he hears, someone talking to Malcolm like it's his father.
Right.
So she's trying to and she knew that was his quarters, so she's assuming that was him, but she didn't have any proof to tell Malcolm or whatever.
Okay, so, all right. So what power tags apply here?
I'm gonna roll an outcrit.
Okay.
Here we go.
Mostly because I burned all my contacts. This is why I don't use a Mal.
I'm not sure how to play this. Anybody have any suggestions? Because
He loses his mind.
describe what it looks like when Flora does this. Like the meditative elements of it look like just basically like you're meditating. You sit down or whatever. But what does it look like when Flora does this whole out of body thing, or really kind of reaches into the spirit realm in that way?
She's already somewhat corpse-like with how white she is, and her, clothing and makeup choices and everything. I think when her eyes usually roll back, and then they go black and then they roll back, and then she's just kind of sitting there in this calm pose, I think she looks even more drained than usual.
Okay, but is there so when we described it before, it was like you were stepping out of your body and manifesting yourself. Is that when we see? Is that spiritual form sort of full on what Flora actually looks like when she's not in her body? Like the mythos is actually true form kind of a thing.
No, it looks like the shape of a person, kind of like what she was seeing when she was looking through the city. She could tell if it was a child, a man, or a woman, but other than that, you can't tell what it is. It's almost like light.
Okay, because for what Gideon sees, he's observing you do this, and what he sees is he begins to start panicking. Because you failed that roll, he starts to panic, and his breath starts to go really heavy, and you hear him start to hyperventilate, and the noises coming from below inside of the ship get even more intense, and there's almost stomping. And so, Flora, as you're doing this, you're just not able to get any sense of what's going on, but you're definitely scaring Gideon as Malcolm and JP are moving towards the door.
Yeah, she immediately snaps to and is just watching Gideon.
Yeah, both of you, as you're moving towards the captain's door on the deck, you hear Gideon's breath, and he's starting to hyperventilate.
But we don't see anything, right? We just hear him freaking out.
Yeah, you don't see this behind you because Flora does this very quickly, sort of slips into her state, and immediately Gideon starts to respond.
And we just hear him breathing heavily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess Malcolm turns around and he says, "Gideon, what's the matter? You're gonna stay here. I'm gonna go ahead."
What's she doing? Why is she doing that? Why is she making all that? And you can see that he's looking at Flora as Flora just kind of comes back from her state.
I don't know. She's weird.
Something's not right, Malcolm.
No, she's doing scary things, Malcolm. I think she's a bad lady. She's in our dreams.
I know. She does scary things all the time, and I don't know that she's not a bad lady. Sometimes she does bad things.
Why are you with Malcolm? Why are you with her? He begins to get up and starts to edge back towards one of the sides of the ship on the deck.
Because Mr. G didn't say she was bad, and then if she is bad, JP will just punch her forever. Right, JP?
We'll try to avoid that.
But you would if she was bad.
Something's blocking me, JP. There's something wrong with him.
Why are you hanging with a bad lady, Malcolm? That makes you a bad guy.
No, it doesn't. We do good stuff. She's not all bad. Sometimes she does bad stuff, but sometimes everyone does bad stuff.
What? And he looks really hard at Flora, and he's. Why does she have that hat? She has a sword. She looks like a pirate, Malcolm.
Fuck you, Johnny.
She's not a pirate. She's helped us here.
No. And as he's beginning to panic even more, Flora face danger. You want to use an owl crit for that?
Don't make me beat a child. Come on, you're a fucking monster.
It's not. You're not facing danger for the reason that you think, but yes, it's going to be fun.
I'm gonna use my last owl crit.
Oh please.
Suck it.
All right. For just a second, the clothing that you wear and the garb that you wear, like, shimmers for a second, and everybody kind of sees it a little bit, but it stays the garb that you can see that Gideon's he's closing his eyes and he's concentrating really hard. Malcolm, she is a pirate. I'm telling you, she's a pirate. It's really, the stomping begins to kind of get closer and closer. It's now on the mid deck inside of the ship, and you hear it coming closer to you. No, man, Malcolm, no. And he runs up to the deck where the navigator or helm is. And he kind of runs above the captain's cabin, kind of a thing.
What is this stomping? Do we hear that coming from some direction?
You hear it coming from below the ship.
The middle floor.
Man, he's just freaking out.
Yeah. I think she looks again to Scratch and then to JP. Something's coming. And I couldn't get a good read on what was talking to him, JP. This is really bad.
Hey, hey, Mr. Scratch. Hey, Mr. Scratch. Mr.
What?
Hey, I know that you're tired and you just took a really long nap, but you remember that time that you said that sometimes music can make people feel all kinds of stuff in different kinds of ways, and sometimes that you can sing people and make them feel better, and sometimes you make them feel worse, and sometimes you make them feel okay, and sometimes you make them feel whatever sexy means. Could you sing a song and what?
I'm sorry. Really, Scratch?
Could you sing a song and make Gideon not be crazy?
Say I'm a bad influence.
She's not your drinking buddy. You know that, right?
JP, he said he was bringing it back, though. He said that it had gone somewhere and that he was going to bring it back. The sexy, whatever that is.
Jesus Christ.
I did say that, didn't I?
What's wrong with you?
What?
I'm bringing it back.
I'm bringing it back. Come on.
Kid.
So Scratch is gonna pull out his harmonica and start playing "Home on the Range."
Home on the range.
To what end?
To what end?
What are you trying to do here?
To calm down Gideon.
Okay.
Try to
So-
bring him to a more peaceful state of mind. I want to convince him, if I can, that everything is going to be okay.
Ote, is that what you just said?
Yep.
All right. So you're going to convince him. All right. What power tags apply here?
Oh, that is the thing. Rhythm gonna get you. Sometimes when you play a song, it just makes you feel a certain way, baby. Prayers of the Desperate. Because I feel like I'm catching vibes of desperation and uncertainty, and I can hear him freaking out in my head.
Okay.
Let's go with the Gift of Gab, because my soothing voice singing this song is going to put him in the mood to not do something stupid. And jazz blues musician, because, playing a harmonica, and it's the greatest harmonica I ever played.
Okay. There are a couple of story tags in play here that are going to have a negative effect on you.
Okay.
But before I bring them into play, do you want to use an owl crit in this situation?
You know, I thought about it, but no, I don't.
That's great because the negative story tags are twofold. One is panicked child.
Oh, never mind. I'm gonna use Alcrit. No, go
Are you
ahead.
sure?
No, I'm not gonna use it.
You're more than welcome to use an owl crit.
I don't want to use an Alcrit. I took the time to explain why I was gonna use each one of these power tags, so I'm gonna freaking do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it.
So panicked child is number one. And number two is fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown. All right. So we good? Straight?
I don't know. Are we? Roll it.
I'm good. Convincing.
Great success. Okay. So
What a dear and a low.
Scratch.
Oh, that was fucking song.
What exactly do you convince him of?
I convince this poor sweet child that we are all good people. None of us are here to hurt. None of us are here to hurt or harm anybody. All intentions are pure and like nothing bad is going to happen to him while we're here.
You said all. You said all of you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just confirming just because
All of us
okay.
except for Sam. For some reason, I want him to hate JP so bad.
Hey.
Well, technically, JK can't defend himself anyways. All right. So as you begin to play that, you hear him slowly begin to move towards the sort of the rail that's facing the deck, the lower deck, and I've heard that song before. It was in a dream. I don't quite remember where, but it wasn't a ship. It was like a desert. Malcolm, was that our dream? Did we do that?
Johnny, am I forgetting a desert?
No.
Okay. No, all my dreams are on a ship.
All my dreams today.
I've never been on a desert before.
It was, and he starts to panic a little bit again. I don't understand. It felt like, and all of you feel a dry wind, warm wind, just kind of blow across your face at the same time. It felt dry, and the sun was hot, and all of you that have any exposed skin feel your skin warm just a little bit.
Boy.
It smelled kind of funny. I don't understand. And at that, you smell the smell of dried vegetation and cow dung kind of waft on the air. Malcolm, I don't know if I can stop this. It's really scary.
I don't know what's happening. What are you stopping?
And he begins to panic again. And all four of you face danger.
Oh boy.
What are we facing danger from?
All that shit you did? Fuck it.
Is it a straight face danger?
You can use an owl crit if you've got one.
I will use an owl crit.
Good luck with that.
Have one.
Do you want one? I'll give you one.
Have you used 2 today?
Yeah.
This
You
is
can have
my
one of mine.
second roll of the day, and the first one was stop holding back. So
Guys, if I try to do anything, I'm fucked because I just burned my main thing.
I fail.
Jens, take one of my owl crits.
No, I'll just suck it up.
Are you sure?
I
Yeah.
fail.
What I'm facing danger. Oh, I gotta put it
Yep.
back to 4 moves. That's why. Sorry, I forgot.
It's okay.
You know.
We all fail.
Hey, Scratch. It's time for you to shine here, buddy. This is all a great time to actually fail as well.
Ruined it.
Soiled it.
Too legit to crit.
Soiled it.
Starts. He changes from home on the range to the stars at night are big and bright. I hate all of you.
Deep in the
Oh,
heart. I did it. You
No, I
didn't
didn't.
see me?
I didn't see you.
We all did
I
it.
did the whole thing.
I didn't do it, but I. All right. Warm wind blows. The smell of dried vegetation and dung in the air. The heat on your skin, feeling incredibly exposed. You blink, and you're in the middle of a desert. Scratch is the only one provisioned. The rest of you are just wearing clothes and a cowboy hat. And you see Gideon riding behind Scratch. Malcolm, it gets worse. And in the distance, you hear gunfire.
Good. Good.
Can't hear you.
No, I'm just mumbling to myself. Why are we in the Wild West?
I want to like maybe. I kind of want to investigate, but I don't know if I have like enough info to even like start asking questions.
I think you do. There's plenty of questions that can be asked.
All right, I want to investigate here because I can use my new tag here.
All right. How do you want to do this, though? So there are plenty of things that can be answered very quickly from everything around you. But I need to know how JP is going to approach that.
All right, so let me talk about my new tag first, because then
Sure.
that'll help. All right, so my new book is called A Particular Set of Skills. And basically the core idea here is JP has kind of taken up this job of doing sort of freelance odd jobs and investigating for the more mystical element of the city. So this tag is all about kind of like identifying and rooting out people who are rifts. So basically, I think JP's kind of like trying to take in the situation, like think through what he's already seen from Gideon and try to like cross-reference that with like the stuff he's learned from reading because he's been spending a lot of time reading in Fadi's library. He's been spending a lot of time like hanging out with the people who are more in the know with Mr. Gallows folks. And so he's kind of using all of that, kind of having been in that situation, having more of the context than he did maybe in season 1. He's using that to try to like sort of synthesize an answer here for like what exactly is going on. Do you buy that?
I do.
Cool.
So what power tags are you throwing at this investigate then?
I think I can use freelance investigator.
Okay.
Strange friends for strange times, because I was getting help from Fadi's library. And this one maybe or maybe not. So that's who you are. Basically, the idea behind that tag is I want to be able to like try to use it to like essentially try to ferret out people's powers. So like basically trying to like get a better idea of like where this may be coming from Gideon, or for Gideon rather.
Okay.
Cool.
There's one story tag negative story tag against you on this,
Alrighty.
and it is Gideon.
Gideon. Cool. All right. Let's investigate up. 9.
Okay, so 2 clues.
And then fuzzy, I think, is the next.
They can be true or false, or they can be vaguely truthful, or they can be. Let's see, what is the specific? The clues can be fuzzy, incomplete, or partial, true, false, part true, part false. So
Okay.
Go for it.
So my first question is, do I think that there is a way to get out of Gideon's like dreamscapes without completing it? Because every other time we've had to complete the vision, essentially. Do I think there's a way around that?
That's a really interesting question. I had not envisioned this aspect of Gideon. Mike, he's essentially your creation here in the game.
Yep.
What do you think about that?
What is the context here?
So so every time that JP's question basically alludes to the fact that every time that anybody has participated in one of the shared dreams situations with Gideon, there's an element of you have to complete the challenge, right? Or you have to complete the dream. You have to follow the dream to its conclusion.
But
And
that could also just be because that's what we've done.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So I guess JP's question is, is that something where that is required in order to bring Gideon back to his state, or to be able to escape the mechanisms of the dream?
So I have a vague answer for you. That is completely dependent on the dreamer. So like when he helps Malcolm with his dream, Malcolm's dream is about the ship and the Kraken, and his goal is to get to the captain, which he never actually does, but he fights back against the Kraken, and sometimes he defeats the Kraken, and sometimes the Kraken defeats them. But without Gideon, he always loses. With Gideon, he sometimes wins. And like with Morrigan, to get there was no challenge there. He was able to connect 2 people into one dream, and so there was really no challenge. The challenge was when something happened. I think I failed something, and then we got sucked into Malcolm's dream because it was more powerful than whatever the cop's dream was. So it's dependent on who the dreamer is. So if this is a dream of Gideon's and there is a challenge, then yes, there would be a challenge that he would have to face through. But it's dependent on the dreamer. Whoever's dream this is dreaming, or whoever's dream we're in, it would depend on that person.
Cool.
So, yeah, that is your answer. It's
all right.
It is Gideon's dream, so you are going to have to face the challenge.
We got to complete the challenge.
Yes.
All right. So then my other question is going to be, what is the element of reality here? Again, this is from past experience with working with Gideon and like trying to like figure out his powers. Every time, and again, this might just be because of the way Malcolm has used it, but it's been sort of the dreams are representative of something more real than the dreams are themselves. It's about overcoming a real problem, even if it's being done via this sort of, fighting the Kraken is about something more than fighting the Kraken, right? Am I able to get an idea of what that is? Like, what's the real thing here for Gideon? I don't know if that's too vague of a question.
No, actually, it's a really, really solid question. I'm not sure how much I can answer this one without revealing a lot of what was implied in your first question. So
I mean, I think if you boil the question down to like the core without giving away too much story, it's what's the challenge?
Yeah, that's not going to be obvious in this given situation. But that's not. It's not just about the challenge itself, right? It's about the elements of in the dream sequence. The dream sequence for Gideon and Malcolm, and specifically the dream sequences with Gideon, Malcolm, Morgan, and the other players who were there for those crossover episodes. Malcolm was always still the anchor, right? So if I was answering you this, if I was going to answer this question without going into too much, because it's Gideon's dream, it's his anchor, it's his reality that has to be addressed.
Okay. Yeah. So JP will look around the group and he'll be like, we should get moving. The way these things always work, we got to play it out.
But where do we have to go? Where are we?
Scratch is riding a horse. He's got a nice big black bull, sort of 10-gallon hat, and he's got a kid on his back.
How'd you get a horse?
Will you say that out loud?
Yeah.
I don't rightly know. Just kind of ended up on one, I guess.
Scratch is gonna pet it.
Gideon kind of laughs at the back. You play cool music. You needed to be a singing cowboy.
Who doesn't love a troubadour?
Gunshots are getting closer and closer to you guys.
Now,
Did
what
you
time
put-
of day?
Did you put us in a cowboy dream because he's saying home on the range?
Yes.
Because there's a Texas flag behind him.
I mean, now we're on the range.
I just put that together and now I'm dying.
It took you that long, really?
I thought that was pretty obvious.
I didn't put that together until you said you sing cool music and I was like, son of a bitch.
Home on the range.
Oh no.
Okay, just to set the scene a little bit better, the gunshots are coming from the west. You are in a desert setting. There appears to be a little bit of a ravine towards the west that you can't see down into, but the gunshots are definitely coming fast and furious, and they're loud reports, and they're echoing sort of, off the distant, mountains that are, at least a couple of miles away from you. You're in what appears to be like a valley setting of some kind.
JP will say, quick, we gotta head east. It seems wild out there to the west.
Good night, folks.
Done. I don't want to follow that.
What do you? So you guys are running to the east at this point.
Scratch is gonna look over his shoulder at Gideon.
What would you say our best course of action is here, compadre?
I don't know. Those are bandits down there. I think though, we might want to run for the train. And at that, you hear a train whistle. And towards the east, there's a train slowly making its way across the horizon.
Next season on Horror on the Orient Express.
I hear the whistle blowing. It's rolling around the bend.
Bandits usually ride trains, don't they?
I don't know, but it's the only way out of here that I see.
Let's go to the train.
Is there like a podunk ass country town? Is there like a saloon near us, or are we just in the middle of an open field?
You're in the middle of the open range.
Do I have any cell reception?
Does Flora actually check for her cell phone?
Mm-hmm.
It's there.
I have cell
yes.
reception?
And yes, you do.
You neat.
She looks at her phone, looks over at JP, and is like, Gonna be late for dinner.
Yeah, there's a couple texts from him.
What do they say?
Show pop.
He's impatiently waiting for you.
She's gonna shut her phone and be like, "Yep, checks out," and just follow wherever the rest of the group is going.
I'm gonna roll a change the game, Johnny. We need.
Go for it.
We can't all not have horses.
I was waiting for this.
Yeah, let's see here. Where is my character sheet? There it is. Man, let's go with. I'm gonna say imagine things to life. Clap if you believe. And Bangarang, because we're gonna be fighting bandits. We're gonna be fighting dirt pirates on a train.
So
Dirt pirates?
Yeah, there's
Really?
yeah. They're bandits. They're like pirates. I mean, come on. They're pirates with I mean, pirates had guns too, but they're pirates. Shut up, Johnny. You don't know my life. So 3. 3 power tags. Unless there's any negatives to summoning horses.
Nope.
Dope. Changes. Woof! That was a rough one. That one
Very
hurt.
close.
That one hurt the
Do you,
team.
do you need an owl crit? Do you need an owl crit?
No, I got it. I'm good without it. I already burnt one of those nonsensical things. So I get juice equal to power, which is 3. That's a success. Yeah. So I'm gonna
Wait.
What? Wait.
Why does it only say 1? Did your character sheet bug out again?
No, I used 3. Oh yeah, it does say 1. Why is there a 1? Maybe it bugged out. That should be too high. That should be a 9. Either way, still a mild success.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why there's negatives for. I'll look around in a second. I thought I hit reset. But yeah, so it's 3 power for the 3 power tags. Imagine things to life, clap if you believe, and bangarang. So I'm gonna create 3 story tags. It's gonna be saloon. It's gonna be a chestnut mare and a black stallion, and there are 2 horses tied to a hitching post in a saloon. But it's just a saloon, right, from like an old movie. No one's in it. It's just like the Hollywood facade of a saloon with 2 horses.
When we walk in, a player piano starts, right?
Yeah, just
So
by
totally
itself.
Cardboard cutout. It falls down.
Yeah. But no one's there.
Is it playing like the theme to Westworld for you guys or something like that?
I've never seen Westworld, but no, it's playing the song that always plays in every. Yeah. Yes, it's playing that song.
Is it Camptown Lady?
No, it's not that one.
What the?
That's the privacy sock. Yeah. So there is a hitching post with 2 horses, and the facade of a bar with no one inside of it, of a saloon.
I have a question for you just before we move the scene onward.
Mm-hmm.
Why are there only 2 horses when there's 3 of you?
Because I'm a child, Johnny. What makes you think I know how to ride a horse?
Okay. Anyways, so magically shimmering out of the heat and
No, so you hear Gideon say, "We should get on that train," and then you hear like everyone looks towards the train, and then you hear Malcolm say, "We should get on those horses," and then you turn back and you know there was not a saloon right there, and now there's a saloon with 2 like whinnying horses tied up to the hitching post.
So I'm gonna do something. You guys remember how every time we were around water, I made a joke about how JP was really bad at swimming, and then I had to suffer the consequences of that?
Now he's super
That
great.
was all to cash in for the fact that JP is really amazingly good with horses.
Perfect.
Wait a minute. Time out. I gotta ask. Where in his mythos does that actually fit in?
I will tell you. I will actually tell you. My mythos, Sun Wukong. For those of you who haven't figured it out yet,
Who?
the Monkey King. When he was
mythos is
first
Goku.
offered a position in the Court of Heaven,
That's right.
he was offered the position of stable boy. And he loved the position very much because he loved horses and got along great with the horses. But he soon learned that this was the lowliest position in the kingdom of heaven. And that was what started his great rebellion against the Emperor of Heaven. The Jade Emperor, I believe. Yeah.
The Jade Emperor, yeah. That's right. I forgot all about that. That's
18 episodes to cash in on horses.
Exactly. Horses. Boom. JP
playing the long game.
So when I'm imagining when JP mounts his horse and he just kind of gets on, he looks all regal and he's like sitting up straight in his saddle. And like he puts on his hat and he's just like, he's the penultimate cowboy.
Oh man.
All right. So what about which one did you get on, the stallion or the chestnut mare?
Probably whichever one seemed more rowdy.
The stallion.
Yeah, I mean, usually that's how it goes with horses, right? I don't know actually a lot about horses in real life, but yeah, so that's the one I'll take.
Okay.
Great. And that leaves a beautiful chestnut mare for Flora to ride.
You see her just stand next to Sarah, Barry, and Gus, and just kind of looks at them, wondering if she could ride them wherever we're going, since it's made of wood.
If your legs are dragging the ground.
It's as tall as me. Sarah, Barry, and Gus are like as tall as me, if not taller.
Are they?
That was what was established, I thought.
I'm always imagining they were small dog-sized dogs.
No, they're gigantic dogs.
We put people over the gigantic dogs that are like taller than me.
I just always assumed they were just dragging on the ground.
No. You're so weird. So you let your friend, you thought he was just dragging on the ground, you thought you would let me do that?
Yeah, he's asleep.
Wow, Malcolm's a dick.
Malcolm's
I didn't realize
the worst friend.
Yeah, 18 episodes. How have you guys not realized this?
Well, I always kind of thought it was just like he was an oblivious kid, but now I'm starting to think he's just an asshole.
No. Have you guys ever watched Peter Pan? Peter Pan's an asshole.
Not knowing what's going on all the time.
No.
Peter Pan is an asshole.
Peter Pan's an asshole. Have you ever watched any of the shows or movies or read the book? He's an asshole. He probably kills kids.
Not every Peter Pan is the kid from Once Upon a Time. Okay, let's just be clear about that.
I mean,
not everybody's that bad.
Only the Robin Williams one was the nice Peter Pan. All the rest of them are assholes.
That's because he's had like years to grow up. I think really what we're talking about is like most kids that age.
Kids are assholes.
You guys are bad. Okay, so JP gets on the stallion. Flora gets on the mare.
No, she's trying to ride Sarah, Barry, and Gus.
She's going to ride Sarah, Barry, and Gus. So that means that Malcolm's getting on the mare.
No, Malcolm's getting on with JP. He's a child, Johnny. He can't ride horses.
You didn't imagine up a tiny pony
for
Malcolm to ride.
No.
Malcolm's a hobbit.
No, Malcolm would ride with one of the adults. Malcolm also doesn't imagine he drives cars either. Well, yeah, that's not true. Malcolm did steal a car and hotwire it once.
Malcolm, you hear something really interesting coming from inside the saloon.
Along with the
tinkling of the piano,
mm-hmm.
and its hollow sort of like honky tonk sort of a sound. You hear distant calls, strange voices, and you smell the briefest of like breezes coming from inside, and it smells like sea salt, and it smells wet.
Oh man. Yeah, I think he looks back and forth to JP and Flora how Flora's not getting on the horse. And how she clearly doesn't understand that this is a Wild West and that you need to ride a horse. And then he looks back and he says, "Oh wait, hold on a second!" And he runs through the doors of the saloon, which I can't remember what those are called. The swinging doors. There's a word for those.
Swinging doors.
There's a word for those. And the saloon is called Johnny's Saloon, by the way. with a Y. It's my best friend's name. Best friend John. And there's a slice of pizza.
So you step inside, and it's empty. Other than you see the bar on the left-hand side, you see the piano playing, the piano roller or whatever on the right-hand side, and there's a series of empty tables with chairs all around. Various bottles and glasses and card games, and you see a smoking cigarette just kind of wafting from one table, and you hear the sound coming from the back of the room, and there's a door and it's closed. But you hear this muffled sound sort of coming from it, and you can smell the breeze coming from that direction.
Oh, man. Did JP say anything about there's a challenge that we have to do? Did you actually voice that?
He just said we have to play the dream out. That's what he said.
Okay. I'm trying to determine if Malcolm would understand what you meant. I think he would. This isn't his first rodeo. So Malcolm comes back out, and one of the doors opens up. And he looks to JP, assuming that JP is the only one that has any idea what's going on. And he says, hey, JP, what if we don't have to go on the train? What if it's something else?
I thought that's why we had the horses.
No, I know, but if you remember the time that we were on the ship and before we were in the shoot 'em up west thing, and then he said that he had to help me find my dad.
Yep.
What if my dad's in here?
All right.
Okay, and he runs back inside the saloon, and he runs straight towards the door. He fully assumes that JP got that message in those 10 words, and he runs towards the back door.
JP will follow him.
And he runs towards that back door.
Flora will follow. JP.
I've got plenty of Malcolm experience at this point.
So Malcolm, tell me exactly what happens when you run inside as the rest of you are dismounting from your horses.
Yeah, so he gives the message, and he has fully conveyed that the we have to go in here, and he runs towards the back of the room, and obviously like the smoke kind of wafts with him, and he's probably putting his hand on the back door. I assume there's like a handle on this thing. As everyone walks in, well, at least as JP and Flora walk in, I don't know what Scratch is doing, but as they begin to like push the swinging doors aside, and then Malcolm opens the door, like basically whenever the first foot hits the interior of the saloon is when Malcolm opens his door.
Okay, so as you open the door, you find yourself looking out from the captain's cabin onto the deck of the ship, and it's clearly at night, and you can see the shadow or the shape of the captain in the distance as the rest of the crew is working all around the ship. And you can smell the sea salt air, and you can see that the waves are crashing over a little bit, and the ship is definitely in rough waters. And for the rest of you, JP, Flora, I'm assuming Scratch, and Gideon all kind of just open those the swinging doors kind of open as you see Malcolm do this, and you hear the sounds coming from the ship, and you smell the sea salt air. Malcolm, what are you doing?
I think Malcolm sees this, and he immediately turns around and hands on his hip. He looks at his friends. He says, "See, I found it."
Good work.
That's it, and then he's gonna walk through the door.
I will follow Malcolm.
Yep.
As Malcolm walks through the door, it closes behind him and shuts.
JP just bumps into the door. Try to open it.
It opens, and you look out onto the back of the desert of the saloon.
Do I turn around and there are bandits coming in?
You hear the gunshots in the distance as the bandits are getting closer, and you hear Gideon say, "They're on their way. We've got to hide. We can't run anymore. We're not going to make it to the train."
Gideon, hide. I'll take care.
Where are we gonna go?
Just hide in the saloon.
She looks over at you and goes, we.
Well, dude, we'll fight him. We'll stop the bandits.
Malcolm, describe to me, when you described the saloon, was it a single story or was it a double story?
I guess it would be a double story, right? Because that's what's in like every goddamn Western movie ever. So like interior wise, there's like the round tables, and the round tables are like pitted and scarred from so many bar fights and being tipped over and repaired. And then there's like the staircase up where they bring the ladies, and there's like probably like a set of 3 rooms. There's the piano in the corner, and then a row of just like foggy bottles that have brown liquid in them.
Gideon kind of looks at JP and says, "There's no place to hide. Where am I supposed to hide? What am I supposed to do?"
Hide behind the bar.
Gunshots begin to fire coming into the bar itself and blocking his way to be able to actually get towards the bar.
Yeah, so go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say first JP gets between the kid and the gunshots, and then he's going to flip a table over in front of them.
Okay, and so you flip the table over and the gunshots keep kind of coming in, and it's clear that the gunshots are focused on the side towards the bar itself. And off to the right hand side there is the stairway leading up, and there's the piano and what looks like a storage area under the stairs. Gunshots are coming in, and you're starting to hear the sound of horses arriving in front of the saloon.
Flora, what are you doing? What were you gonna do? You were
yeah, she was just gonna open the nearest door and see if there's a closet and put herself between. She'll just like get between them and be like, "I got him," and just try to like put him somewhere and use her body as a shield and walk backwards with him behind her.
And you're gonna walk him to the storage.
Yeah.
Under the stairs. Okay, so as you do that, and you make your way back towards that, what is JP and Scratch doing?
JP is going to obviously try to avoid getting shot, but he's going to try to be the first person that they see when they come through the door. So he wants to be like there and present out front, center of attention when they come in.
All right, and what's Scratch doing?
Scratch is gonna mosey his way on in. Obviously, we're in the West. You can't not mosey, right? Just gonna walk on in, kind of survey while JP's over there flipping tables and getting ready. He's gonna walk. There's nobody in the bar, right?
No, it's just the 3 of you and Gideon.
All right, he's gonna walk behind the bar and grab what looks like a bottle of whiskey, and he's gonna come back around
as the gunfire is like piecing and pelting all around him. Yeah,
walking through it.
But he's got like thumbs and belt buckle as he moseys through.
Yeah, he's just casually walking through it. And as he turns around and starts walking past JP, I always wanted to do this. And he's gonna walk right over to the piano, lift it up, and start playing Camptown Races. just to get some battle music going on.
Because when you think of fighting cowboys, you think of Camptown Races.
Flora, as you're walking Gideon back towards the storage room, you hear him just. I don't understand what's going on. Where'd Malcolm go? Where did Malcolm go?
Malcolm's hiding. There's bad guys coming. You guys need to hide, okay?
And you see, as you're kind of turning over and looking at him as you're kind of backing him into that storage. After what do you mean after? He's starting to sway a little bit. His eyes look a little tired.
Listen, we have to ask these people to leave. And they may not be that friendly. So just stay safe here and we'll come and get you, okay?
Okay. I'm really tired. Can I go to sleep until it's done?
Yeah, just wait here. And she'll like push something out of the way and like situate him so he's behind some stuff.
Okay.
But he can like sit and like rest on something.
Okay, and so he kind of sits on that thing as you're kind of getting him situated, and you see him sort of lean to the side against the wall. And he's like, You're not such a bad lady after all.
She pulls a jacket from her bag and puts it over him.
Thanks. And he falls asleep.
She'll shut the door and put something in front of it.
Okay. And so as that's happening, you hear a series of, horses kind of arrive sort of in front, and the gunshots are still continuing to pelt inside as you hear calls, to get inside and to get them. And you hear a bunch of boots hitting the hard pavement or the hard dirt ground outside. You begin to see a group of them through the windows of the saloon as they're making their way towards the swinging doors. And we're going to cut to Malcolm walking through the captain's door and out onto the deck.
What do I see?
You see the ship, and it's crazy, and there's all kinds of activity as it's clear that they're preparing for something. They're doing all kinds of rigging, making sure that things are secured because the waters have gotten really crazy.
Does this look like Malcolm's dream?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Does Malcolm have the picture with him?
Yeah. I don't
it's
see
a story.
why
It's a story tag on your character sheet, right?
It's now. It is.
It should have been before.
Oh yeah, Memento. That's right.
Memento.
I cleared that. That's why I hit reset on my tags. Memento.
Good job.
Memento. Actually, he's got 2 now.
That's right.
Is that 2?
So you can add the second one.
Okay. I'm just gonna make that a tier 2 story tag.
That works.
Yeah. And it's a positive story tag. Cool. Yeah, so he just sees a bunch of sailors doing sailor stuff aggressively, and the seas are getting choppy. Is it like nighttime, lightning in the sky, that whole kind of thing?
It's nighttime. There's not a lot of lightning yet. The rain has started though.
Okay.
And the seas are rough.
And he can see the captain?
You can see the captain on the essentially the foredeck near the front of the ship.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, his goal is always to get to that guy, but he's always attacked before he does. So yeah, he proceeds towards that guy.
As you're beginning to step away from the door, you hear it open behind you. Hey, Malcolm!
And he turns around.
You look around, and there is Gideon.
Oh, hi, Gideon!
How did we get here?
I don't know. I walked through a door. How did you get here?
I remember falling asleep.
Well, that's weird.
What are we doing here?
Same thing we do every time, I guess. Fight the Kraken. Find that guy.
Do you want to change the dream this time?
Into what? Can we be a superhero? Can I have a giant robot? Like an anti-pirate robot?
I don't know. I just feel like we can make a change this time.
Okay. What is it?
I don't know.
Oh.
But it's behind that door. And he points, and behind you, in the middle of the ship, there is a door in the center of the deck.
Where does it go? What does the door look like, Johnny?
It looks like a door that you've imagined before. To a particular place.
Okay. What door is that?
Do you remember the door that you imagined all that long time ago?
Yeah, the door to the house that I invented in the side of
No.
the house. Which? No, I don't. Then I don't remember which door it is.
Well, you better open it and find out then.
What? But I don't. Okay. All right. I mean, Malcolm's a child. Yeah, he's like he looks excited, and he grabs Gideon and pulls him along, and then puts his hand on this door and opens the door.
And that's where we're going to end it.
You bitch.
Boom.
You bitch ass bitch. Where's the door to, Johnny? What door did I imagine? You shit. All right. That was.
I'm not telling you.
You're a fucking.
I'm not telling you. No, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I'm not saying a word.
You're a jerk.
I am a jerk.
I imagine so many doors on a regular basis. I can't remember one. All right, that was episode 7, Scratch Out of Hell, of 6&Twenty Metropolis. And I think he did. I think we got not only did Scratch out of hell, but Scratch is out of hell. So let's go around, introduce our cast and crew, hear what the hell's going on with us for the rest of the week, and give you guys a little bit of a raid here. So let's start with Scratch himself. Scratch, Frags, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what'd you think of today's episode?
I liked it. I was in a dream. I fought myself that's not myself in the dream, and I committed to doing a thing to myself. And I'm not sure if the person who wasn't myself but was somebody else in the dream actually knows lots of things going on. And it was a fun time. Got to be a cowboy again.
So you see you see the description you just gave? That's what it's like being Malcolm.
Yeah. But no, I had a good time. But yeah, I am KW Frags on Twitter, Twitch, and in real life.
That's true.
And yeah,
Fantastic.
I do think sometimes maybe more coming up. So,
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's jump over to Miss Ginger Ninja. Miss Ginger Ninja, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of today's episode?
I
Nope.
am Miss Ginger Ninja.
Just making sure.
Today was a lot of fun. I'm excited for the finale next week, but I mean, I got to tell Malcolm that his dad's dead, and then tell him that his mom's dead, and introduce him to his dead mom just to have her die again.
You're a monster.
Hey, you're kind of a monster.
I love you, but you're a monster.
You're kind of a horrible person.
We'll go back for her. I'm sure she'll be fine.
Yeah. Jerk. Perfect. Sam, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of today's episode?
I thought today's episode was very interesting. We had a choice between JP going in a more fighty direction and in a more sort of sleuthy, useful in another kind of way direction. And so I'm excited to see that play out next week. Yeah, it was good. Today was a good episode. I had fun. Thank you guys for coming out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing. And we'll see what happens in the big finish.
Sweet deal. Last but not least, Johnny, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of today's episode?
What did I think about the episode? I'm going to start with there because I think a lot of really interesting things happened for a lot of the characters. I want to start with Flora. Flora was really interesting. I didn't expect her to actually be that matter of fact and give Malcolm his trying to grow up moment. That was something I did not expect, and I love the way that it played out. That was really cool. Loved that Malcolm dropped to the "I'm sorry I didn't save you," I think it was what you said. That was hard. That was really hard to listen to. You're a dick. Stop with the feels.
Fuck me, fuck you.
Thanks. The scratch dream got really interesting, and I really enjoyed the way that the game sort of played out, and the fact that you lost anyways. I was really disappointed that you actually lost, but it worked out really well. And then the stop holding back for JP was really fucking cool. I can't wait to see what happens to JP in the end. Although I still wish that you would have gone with the more capricious, monkey element.
I just wanted someone else to go the other way because everyone's been going more towards the mythos, and I feel like if there's any character, Mike actually I think maybe mentioned this somewhere in one of the chats. I don't know which one. If there's any character in this City of Mist thing we're doing that it would make sense to end the game back as a normal person, it would be JP.
Yeah, I think that would be a super fitting end for JP. Because JP has always been more personality than mythos. Even no matter what the mechanics say, he's always been more JP than Wukong, right? At his core, he's always been JP, and JP is trying to use Wukong as best as possible to do JP things. So for me, I think everyone looks at it as oh, you lost your powers, what a sad story. I think that would be the best arc for JP. I think him being a normal person and not have to deal with this crazy bullshit would be the fucking best for him.
Right. So the question that I have, I love the idea of that. The question I have for Sam then in that particular with that particular thought in mind, what was it about JP that Wukong found appealing as a mythos? Because Wukong chose JP specifically to inhabit him, and grant him all of this.
So I thought a lot about this when I made the character, and the reason I picked the theme books that I did was because I picked one thing that I felt really represented how I see Wukong as a character at the beginning of Journey to the West, and how I see him sort of right before he attains Buddhahood. Where sort of, and obviously the mythos tags play into that, but I meant like sort of personality wise. So, like, at the beginning, he's kind of, I've got this tag, the former champ, which is all about fighting, but really the core concept there, the identity aspect, is being bored of constant competition. So he's kind of this wayward, lost, he's able to pretty much fight and take care of like anyone. He's been a champion for years, and it just doesn't do anything for him. And he's just trying to figure out something more. He knows he's destined for something greater. But he has like a lot of these skills that Wukong had at the beginning of his story. He's this great fighter, but he just doesn't know what to fight for. And then the protect my people tag is, I think, really reminiscent sort of who the character becomes by the end of the story. He finds Sun Zhang and the rest of the group of demons, and he slowly learns and is able to learn how important it is to help his friends and to help everyone around him be better, and in doing so he attains enlightenment.
Interesting. Okay. I guess that makes sense. That kind of fits. It was an awesome moment. I'm glad that it happened in that way. I like the choices that you made. Like I said, I did have a preference, but I like the choice. So I'm not so awesome game.
I could totally see it happening that I end up having to use Stop Holding Back next session in a way that it feels more natural to then gain a book back. It's like, I never expected any of this to happen. I fully expected at some point to do a Stop Holding Back that involved getting the staff, but it just didn't end up coming up.
At the end of the episode, you see a blue fairy in his eye.
The whole time. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh
Evil fuck.
Oh my God.
Johnny, where can we find you on the internet?
Video Store Cowboy, except Twitter, which is Vid Store Cowboy, because there's a stupid 15 character limit. And you'll see me tomorrow night over on Not So Speedruns. So,
That's true. That's true. Guys, if you are not caught up on the 6&Twenty Metropolis show on any channel, please go check us out on YouTube. All of our archives are up there. This will be up there in a few days. There is no show tomorrow. We ended our campaign, and I'm not starting anything new until September. This is the penultimate episode, therefore the next week is the season finale, as we are doing the season finale of Polaris, as well as the season finale of 6&Twenty Metropolis. This weekend on Saturday, we have our 12-hour stream from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we are donating 100% of the proceeds to charity for kids. Currently, the unMadeGaming team is at a little over $7,000. The channel here is a little over $6,000. Miss Ginger Ninja is a 1,000+ raiser for the team. Frags is on the team, and he's going to be doing a charity stream in the near future, from what I understand. So definitely come check these guys out, support these guys, join the team if you want to, and definitely come by. I think you'll be seeing Johnny there as well. We have Grant Ellis is going to be there. Madfish is going to be running a game, and someone else that I can't think of off the top of my head is also running a game.
Rem?
No, Rem's not doing it. Bag of Snails. Bag of Snails is running a game, and that's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun, silly, nonsensical game. Come by and see more of that nonsense, and support money for kids, because, they're kids, and sick kids are gross. With that, we're going to go raid our friends over at Dungeons and Distractions. They are currently playing D&D and Chill, I believe. So go check those guys out and give them all of your hot, sticky raid love. And from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.